Whoa, bro. Looking good, man. You working out? You lost weight? Wow. Great suit, by the way. You working out, man? You're looking good. That's a nice suit. What is that? What is that made of? You know, velour? What, a silk rope?
Did you see the picture of Jack Murphy's beard as your hat?
That's part of the op, bro. That's part of the op, bro.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
Why did I have to lift heavy bags for travelers at an airport, 50,000 pounds per day, loading up all these planes? It's a lot of weight.
Did you work at Midway?
I worked at O'Hare.
Whew.
So I would lift between like 35 and 50,000 pounds per day.
That's why you're so shredded. Sure. I didn't want to say anything.
Leftover muscle.
Right. I didn't want to say anything, but it's hard to not notice, you know? Yeah. That's why you're so shredded.
I'm a man.
That's why you're so shredded.
Hey there, can't help myself. Oh man, he is so dreamy, I swear. What's up? Welcome to a brand new edition of What's My Line? By the way, just to point this out, Timmy says he's above the drama, right? Well, here, let's debunk that real fast, all right? Just really fucking fast. 3 days ago, you see this wonderful video right there? Twitch streamer cries after getting caught watching deep fake adult videos. You see the thumbnail and stuff. He's totally above the drama, though, right? He's totally above the drama. Oh, I swear to God, man. Ah, man, it's been an interesting day, though. I mean, you had part 2 of the Cashman Chronicles has dropped today, and apparently Eliza gave him permission to actually put out. If it's not good, if it's a hit piece, she gave permission. I mean, really, she said this online first. Look at this before we get into it. This was hilarious. Let's see. There it is. Oh, Shane, you have my permission to write a hit piece on me if that's where the evidence leads. Well, first of all, it's not a hit piece if the evidence leads there. It's just fucking telling the truth, right? Hit pieces are when people put out bullshit about you. But she gives him permission to be a journalist. Oh, that's so sweet. I was wondering why this came up today. And then lo and behold, it's because the second part of that article dropped. I was like, I get it now. It didn't drop till later, but I get the feeling somebody has a little bit of that advanced knowledge on what's happening. What's happening? Hey, thanks AJ Stone, by the way, for those 5 gifted memberships. Did you like the pickle intro, by the way? That was really funny. I want to play it one more time. Give me this. This is funny. Apparently, he's talking about what's funny is this clip. He's actually complaining that if you went into if you go into your workplace and you're like, tell a dude, yo, dude, look at your outfit. You're swole, man. You look good. You don't get in trouble. Man, you tell a lady that. Yeah. I'm just imagining Tim. Like, imagine you go in your workplace and he's like this.
Whoa, bro. Looking good, man. You working out? You lost weight? Wow. Great suit, by the way. You working out, man? You're looking good. That's a nice suit. What is that? What is that made of? You know, velour? What, a silk robe?
Velour. Velour. What the shit? Oh my God. Today's gonna be fun. We're going through that article today. I'm in a clown on some people mood in the last few days. I mean, seriously, man. Somebody wants to call me a paid op. Yeah. No, I ain't a fucking paid op. I'm just an asshole online that sees some things that are really, really wrong. And I feel like pointing them out today. What's up, John? Thanks for the 2. Thank you. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hey, what's up, 2012? Thanks for the 5. You owe me for asking me to watch the video. Look at the email I sent you. It's a big middle finger to the lies. It'll collect some dots. I'll have to check, man. Today has been busy, but I got home like I came home fast enough that I was like, I remember a really funny clip from him. I actually remember this rapper that threatened to like beat him up one time too. I was thinking about clipping that, but I ran out of time. Where he's like apologizing to the guy because he was going to kick his butt in the middle of the freaking TimCast. Oh man, I love it. I love his little tirades into profanity too. He's like, "What do you mean?" He's such a wimp, man. He gets that high pitch. What you mean? He thinks he's so scary. Like I can sound scary if I want to sound scary. I've got a deep voice, and I look mean if I'm pissed off, even out of shape and everything else. Plus, my doorbell reloads. Like I said, it always makes me look intimidating. But that. Oh man, I swear it's like, oh Mickey, you're so fine, you're so swole, you blow my mind. Come on, man, don't be doing that. Sandy, hey, thanks for those 5 gifted memberships too. I'm letting everybody get here so when we get into the article, it'll be there. But look at that, you have my permission. But now, why did multiple people at TimCast get threatened? Not by me or anyone affiliated by me. If they didn't publish a hit piece on me, I find that very odd. Yeah, we have Tim's word to go on like that, right? Remember, okay, so I pulled this up actually, and I put it in my my video. I can't remember who sent this to me too, but remember he said that Jeremy, the cornering, threatened him. You remember that? Jeremy sent him a threat. Well, this is how he defines threats, remember. So this is, I'm going to show you what Jeremy actually sent him just to fill in that gap, because I didn't have it yesterday. I didn't have it on hand. And I was telling you, what was said. He says this, though, is a threat. This part, not that. That doesn't matter. This part right here. I mean, really, let's read that together. It's two statements, though, because you can see how it comes in separately. Even though our viewers want war, I don't. Please tell me this dude, Shane Cashman, took her to task. Two separate statements, that's a threat. So, I mean, I guess if you're having people say, hey, we don't want war, oh my God, what a threat. What a monster, right? What a monster indeed. I guess if that's a threat, anything's a threat. Just Ed, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs 2012. Also check your DMs to see the award Eliza won. Oh, I saw the award. Yeah, she was given a award right when all this stuff was popping off. She was actually given an award. She also went on this weird tangent today, she's going with the PR piece thing too. So she's actually adopted the same Tim talking points, although the talking points, of course, are whoops, that's the wrong. There we go. That's the right one. My story as a survivor of human trafficking is 100% real, sadly. I had nothing to do with the paid PR campaign to destroy me. Are y'all getting checks? Because I have not fucking gotten a check yet, and I'm really getting mad about this. I'm getting really irritated there. What's up, EB? Tim's last video, outright lies like mad repeatedly, gaslights works in CNN, and doubles down on narcissistic hate for his fan base. Please cover it, Tug. You're talking about the behind the scenes video? I dropped a video if people didn't see that one today. Yeah, go check it out for sure if you didn't see that one. Because it's really fun. It's a lot of fun, I have to say, if that's what you're talking about. I don't even know how to pronounce that. JC. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Thanks for the 5. What's up with Tim saying Jeremy's last name so many times? I watched the Quartering daily. I didn't know his name. Is that like doxing threat? No, his name's out there, but it is interesting. He's like, I'm not his friend, by the way. I'm going to drop I'm going to say that a million times. He was so salty. He's really salty about the Jack Murphy beard thing. Really, when he gets down to it, I mean, he admitted the reason he is mad is because of the Jack Murphy beard memes, which is funny because he said, the Jack Murphy issue, there wasn't a real issue there. He just had it passed, right? So I don't understand the problem here. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of funny though. Okay, let's read her thing and then we'll read the article. I had nothing to do with the paid PRP. I can't even speak today. I've been laughing at some of this dumb so much today. There was no reason for me to trend on Twitter on and off for 2.5 weeks. Yeah, there was no reason for Twitter to come to bat for you and try to ban everybody and their mama today too. EB, let's see, no, new 48-minute video today on his Temple channel. Will somebody send me a link to that? I'll look at it. I'll look at it in a little bit and I'll break it down. I'll make it for a new video. This dude, he won't talk about that's fine. I'll talk about him not talking about it when he talks about it over and over again. You know what I mean? If he's covering this, it's a lot of fun to cover. Real people who I knew and loved fell for the op designed to destroy me. Now, she's trying to salvage. My finances had nothing to do with my public advocacy for survivors because I've done it all for free. Wait. So you're telling me charity is not free, by the way. If you're running a charity, that has a specific connotation. A 501c3, that's a charity. And even if you're putting in your time for free, you're still collecting money because how else are you running it? So even if you're putting in your time for free, that doesn't mean the charity itself would run for free. And if the charity doesn't exist, then there's a real problem. But there was nothing to cancel me for. The only thing that I lost was a Babylon Bee interview, which wasn't a huge deal in the world of being a survivor advocate. I knew about the op set out to destroy me early on during the scenario. Yeah, the op again doubling down. Brittany Venti was an op. The Quartering talking about this stuff. It was an op. It was all an op built to try to take her down, right? I mean, that's crazy. It was, what a way to try to frame this. Again, she's adopting the same language as Tim. Fascinating. You embed people from TimCast with her. she adopts their language. I mean, I'm not saying that they're colluding. I'm just saying that's really interesting, right? Maybe that's an op, bro. You know, I mean, when you get down to it, I wonder what Tim would say.
That's part of the op, bro. That's
exactly. That's part of the op, bro. That's part of the op, bro. I'm gonna play that forever. 2012, thanks for the 5. I got 3 y'alls from Tug from my article that's emailed to him. Now I get to say I'm a Tug contributor. Hell yeah. Hope he reads it. It's an email. I'll check it out in a bit. And Gail, what's up, Gail? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tug's Thugs. You better hang around, son. Just to say, Gail, my boy. Genghis, thanks for the 5. Eliza Bleu equals Maxine. Wow, Ghislaine 2.0. Tim is part of the scam. I feel more like it's a AH 2.0, just to be honest, you know, because again, defrauding charity, lying, using other people's victim status as clout. I expect somebody, you know, and again, stories that look really fake. I mean, she hasn't bust anybody yet. Then she's like, why was there be an op against me? Look at it. I mean, really look at it. Really look why there would be an op against me. I'm an ANCAP who fighting human trafficking, advocates for Julian Assange. I just gotta use that again. This is perfect. This is a perfect shield. That's what I keep saying. If somebody wants to use this is the modern shield that makes sure that you can't be criticized for anything. Who had a meeting with Congress begging the FBI and the CIA to be brought before a church committee. Oh, man. So she's telling us about her Politico ties. Is that what you're saying? Is that what I should read between the lines there? I mean, the last Cashman article, the only thing worth value in there, in my opinion, well, there were a couple of things you could take apart, and those were kind of interesting. But the only thing of real value was the connection to Twitter that she talked about. Hotline to Elon. Before that, she already had a hotline into old Jack. So, yeah, old Jack Dorsey, man. I mean, it goes deep there, you know. So, I mean, yeah. And the confirmation of name, which she denied 1 million times about her political connections. But while advocating in public for 2 years of Tate, again, got to use Tate is that too. You knew that would be. I've been saying that forever. That's going to be the way the way it's going to go. They're going to blame everything on everyone being a Andrew Tate supporter, you know. I don't care if you're an Andrew Tate supporter either. I am personally not. We don't have any. Here's the difference. And again, one is not the other. The difference is we know what the guy's being investigated for, but they don't have formal charges. So you can't sound off on formal charges when they don't exist. You know, that apparently makes you a survivor advocate hater because you don't like that, and that Eliza Bleu hater because you don't sound off on litigation that doesn't exist. I'll sound off on Andrew Tate. He said plenty of stupid fucking things that will hang him for whatever he gets charged with, for sure. But anyway, so in December, while advocating in public, while having a perceived, not factual relationship with Elon Musk and Twitter 2.0, she's trying to deny her connection to Twitter, by the way, even though in her own article we were told that she has connection. I mean, you know, here's you. Do any of you have a hotline to Elon Musk? I'm just curious. Do any of you have that hotline? Because, you know, I missed my invitation to write to Elon with any problems, or to write to Twitter Trust and Safety. I don't seem to have them backing me up anytime I would want something done, you know. You know, then again, you know, what I would like done on Twitter is for them to fuck off, but Jerk off Juggernaut, thanks for the 10. So I started reading some of the part 2, and it's so GD boring and full of nothing, much like the first. This dude spends too much time talking about his day. Well, that's what I think. That's the whole point. You know, when we go through, we read it together, so we don't have to read it apart, because I ain't reading it by myself. And of course, I was someone of interest to destroy. The op will be exposed. I'm not worried about that. If you don't believe me as a survivor, the op will be exposed. Fucking come at me, man. You want to call us part of an op? Come at me. But you don't have, these fucking people are such cowards. Just like Temple, fucking coward. He wants to say that you're part of the op, bro. Okay, well, why don't you fucking say that? Why don't you put a name to it? Because this amalgamation, this idea that there's just this thing out there, this blob, this nebulous thing that we call the op. Yeah, when you start looking at it, it's a lot of loosely connected, if not, some people are friends. I have friends that got hit for this stuff. I have people that I know, but I have a lot of people I don't know. And all of that comes together with a lot of loud people wanted an answer. Why are people being banned? That question, why, that's what always interests me. I go down rabbit holes because of that question, why. But of course, it's the op. I've been called a paid PR before too. Again, just the last case we covered got called the same shit because that's what they do. They have to have a deflection point there. Now watch what God can do. You saw the best of what the devil had, and I was left, what's God going to smite us all? Is that what you're telling us? Again, Jesus and God, man. She's turning to that was the Jack Murphy way. He started, after everything fell apart, he started going into the faith, not having faith. There's a difference. You have your faith. Faith's a personal thing, but using faith as a way to try to stem any time of blowback, that's garbage. That is absolute garbage. Everybody knows that too. P.S. Some folks want to know what I'm doing. I survived human trafficking twice, so this current situation wasn't a big deal. I just logged down my Twitter and stuff. So look, I won an award. Yay! Yeah. Fucking circle jerks, man. All these people, and that includes Timmy and everybody. It's just a giant circle jerk, man. I trust any of it. Speaking of circle jerks, here we are at part 2. Now, part 1, if I refresh you, was around 20,000 words that said nothing. They talked about eating toast and repeated a few lines. They told us, like I said, a couple of things. He actually did bring up the Michael Malice thing where she tried to redefine what trafficking was, which was interesting too. But again, 20,000 words out of 80,000, that meant nothing. Now, I haven't looked at this. I haven't looked at it pro or con, but I imagine it says nothing. I imagine that they don't have the stones to really say anything. Let me light my cigar. I need to. Oh, man, by the way, so somebody, let me know this too. Okay, so somebody sent me something. I don't know who you are, so I cannot thank you. It came from a business, not just some random person, by the way. They ordered something because I was like, man, I like that. So somebody sent something. I don't know who to thank for this. So if you're listening, I want to thank you for this real fast too. Maybe this is part of the op bro too. I don't know. But look at that. I was like, man, those are nice. Those are like my favorites. The problem is, I don't buy them because they cost $21 a piece. And, I'm not made out of cash. But anyway, whoever said that, awesome. Awesome. I do appreciate it for sure. So I'm going to bust into those. Yeah. That won't help you quit. No, but it'll make me happy while I'm live streaming. Justin, thanks for the 5. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. That's indeed true. That is indeed true. That was not me. Thank you for clarifying. That was nice. So much for quitting. Hey, yeah, exactly. Well, quitting is for quitters, baby. Quitting is for quitters. Actually, limiting it to live stream time. That's why I'm like, so let me live stream time it. That's why I have to light them in live stream. Man, I need a better lighter. All right. So Cashman, Eliza Bleu and the Perpetual Trauma Machine. The Perpetual Trauma. Now, that's a negative title. Does it not sound like a negative title, though? Because when you say somebody's part of the perpetual trauma machine, that's what it sounds like, right? Hey, Raquel, not Rochelle. Thanks for the 20. Hey, Tug. Hope you're doing well. Before you ask, Tug, I'm okay. Had a seizure Monday. Still dealing with the effects. Sorry I missed stuff. Just seems like another twit. Just wants fame, regardless of any lies. Yeah, the problem isn't the person. It is a problem when, first of all, take care of yourself, for sure. I'm glad you're doing okay, but that stuff, there's a cause to all of that, and they need to see what's exasperating everything. Stress, if you got any stress, do your best to remove it too. But I mean, it wasn't just the Twitter reaction, it's the fakery. Again, a perpetual trauma machine. I mean, if I said that, that's fucking negative. But I don't want money. I don't want revenge. I don't want anything. I just want to make sure that this doesn't happen to another survivor. That's fascinating. So you wouldn't name who were abusers and get them off the street. I mean, that's the thing, right? You don't want it to happen to anyone else. It's a cautionary tale, but you won't name the people and do something about them. If there's an actual trafficking ring out there, that just, wouldn't you want to shut that down? I mean, again, I realize, the authorities, it's not, Shane Cashman is not your way to shut shit down, regardless of what he writes here. The authorities shut shit down. So let's see what's here. So the following conversation took part between Eliza and myself after I'd returned home from the Quad Cities, but before the publication of part 1 of the series. I thought maybe it's time for me to see if that mofo is still alive, she said, in regard to the man who she said sold her for drugs in LA. She asked her friend to Google the man's name. Find anything? He's still alive. Why do you think he was dead? Because of the drug use. If I give you his name, do you promise not to put it in an article? I promise. I am not. So, okay. So you get to point a finger at somebody. Now, I'm not in the business of turning on a source, any source, unless, of course, it involves an imminent threat. I am, however, in the business of doing my own due diligence when it comes to a story, even if it might come into conflict with the reality a source is trying to sell me on. If I got his name, then I'd be able to look up all his addresses. You're the second person I've shared the name with ever. If I make this accusation public, I have to come out with evidence. I mean, maybe I can make the accusation. Maybe I can talk to him privately if he's sober. He's in a program. I started at photos of the man Eliza accused. I can't say he's a household name. And when his name does become public, I know many of you will recognize his music. So we're going to have the musician. Hey, Carrie, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Like Attack, thanks for the 10. I'd call you all degenerates, but I'm newer here. So don't forget to hit the like. Stay unbreaded, Mr. Pickle. Indeed. We can all be degenerates today, by the way. So we may get a name again. You get to point at somebody. I'm telling you, the only way out of this is to point a finger at somebody. So I found the address. He lived in Lynn Deering. And after the time Eliza told me she lived in LA when she was 17, after searching his name, cross-reference details, I put together whole research parts of Eliza's story. I believe this will make more sense if Eliza were to make this public, if it is the man. But that's on her, or possibly even the man himself, seeing how much traction part 1 received. Yeah, you said nothing in it. Yeah, it definitely put her story in traction, maybe. Come on, man. I understood this is asking for a good deal of faith from the reader. Yeah, I'm really in short supply of faith, by the way. You notice a lot of people that complain about listen and believe also ask you to listen, and they ask you to believe. Isn't it weird? The very people that tell you that is a broken system, they tell you got to have faith, baby. Got to have faith otherwise. We could also wonder if Eliza reverse engineered the man's name, knowing that I would now go back and find what might just be confirmation bias. It's also important for the sake of a promise made to a source and for the sake of not slinging heavy criticisms to someone that I can't 100% prove is or isn't the man who committed a crime. Is or isn't. So he's already adopting. You notice this right here, that statement right there. He is or isn't the man who committed this crime. Now, you notice that. I mean, that's a slight slip up, but considering he likes to use about 1 billion words, I would say that he tries to pay attention to what he's saying, and he's saying that a crime was indeed committed. I think that's an important detail. I was reluctant to share that. I even know the name. I'll be called a liar. I'll be accused of the same trickery Eliza has been up to, despite my integrity getting picked apart in this digital coliseum for even attempting to write this story. Man, are you crying again, Shane? Come on, dude. I mean, really, can you hear the music? Can you hear it playing? I mean, I got some in the background. You need me to play you a little bit? Here's you some music.
That's why you're so shredded.
Wait, that's not music, my bad. That's why you're so shredded, baby. I have my flaws as a man and a writer, but I throw them on the page regardless. I am the prism through which you receive this side of the story, so it's only fair that I'll let you in my deepest concerns rather than putting on an air of objectivity. There is no objectivity in much of today's journalism. There's only the mask of it, especially when confronted with the kind of outsized scrutiny I've tripped into here. This is a strange and dark story from whatever angle you're reviewing it, and you watching me attempt to make sense of it in real time while people with massive YouTube channels breeze over my words, leave out portions. Mofo, I read your whole fucking thing, man. You think this is misrepresenting you? You really think that? You think me scrutinizing your words while I read them? Do you think that's me leaving out something? I have live streams on this shit, so I don't miss it because I don't misrepresent, baby. So don't you go play that song to someone else. You go cry that river. I thought you were supposed to be an investigative reporter, man. Come on, dude. And you know what? Blowback. I mean, seriously. Are you freaking kidding me? I like it too. These people cry about blowback. I didn't see them standing with fucking people when we were getting hammered by the entire mainstream press for covering that Depp versus Heard case. I didn't see them standing up and be like, oh man, those poor people out there. But then again, that would have taken a little bit of research too, right? Susan, what's up? Thanks for the 5 there. If EB should get around to suing YouTubers for misinformation, should hire a detective to investigate her. I bet she won't be as clean as JD was. Why not do that off the first place? I mean, hey, why not preemptively do that? I mean, just honestly, there is the threat of litigation. Why not hire a detective? I know a couple. So I know a couple of PIs. I know a couple from the JD stuff. I know I think I know 4 PIs. Shit. I'm sure that they would be happy to have some fun work to really look through this stuff and to really, really see who somebody is. Picking my sentence apart, reading only comments, and calling my questions into motive, or my questioning my motive. Good God, man. So we got a cry fit. All right. This new information for sure doesn't also prove trafficking. It shows me that Eliza and this man did seem to live in the same place at the same time. You mean she lived in the same city that he lived in at the same time? I mean, I could be, it would be easy. Okay. I could say, you know who trafficked me at one time? Eddie Nash. Have you ever, have you ever seen, what is that Brad Pitt movie where he's like John Holmes? What is that fucking movie? Wonderland, right? Eddie Nash in there. Eddie Nash was a pretty well-known monster. He did all kinds of messed up shit. And you could just throw out a name. You could throw out any name there and connect it and be like, yeah, I lived in the same city at the same time. Does that really mean anything? What's up, Savage Goat? Thanks, 5. You could do a full investigation on Andrew Tate. Give your opinion. I'd love to see your take on it. Would be amazing. Your work is always thorough. Yeah, when he gets to the point where there's trial and there's actually claims, I've looked at the Tate stuff a little bit. Some of his own words, I find best case scenario, I feel like he's a manipulator, very much bad, but Again, we have to have charges. When the charges, not investigation, but charges, then I'll be curious about the case. But like Eliza said to me, there's no proof of crime. The only way I can think of this being proven would be an admission of guilt from this person all the years later. Or perhaps there could be others who ran in the circle could corroborate. Perhaps they might see and choose to come clean or reject it outright. I would welcome either. This is where I am now. I know a name. I know his age. I know the music he made. I know nearly everything he's lived. His address, his LA address when she's 17 was 3-minute drive from my apartment. So you got a name. Wow. Got a musician's name. Wow. That's crazy, huh? What's up, Night Owl? Thank you for the 10 there. No statement attached. Plenty of statement. Let's see. Back in Illinois, I sat with Eliza's mom in her living room. She's now retired from being a dean, Black Hawk College. The farm has been in her husband's name since, her husband's family, rather, since his name. That would be really bad. He's a vampire, confirmed. 1840. They grow corn and soybeans. Journalists from various organizations are hitting her up. Her parents' phones keep dinging for every new email asking for a quote about their daughter. They don't seem like journalists to me. Journalists try to seek the truth. He's a former professor turned farmer to state representative. I thought he wasn't in the politics, though, baby. He's currently on the board of a district in which they live. Now, I thought he wasn't a politician. I thought that's what they were telling me. What's up, Sweet Potato Night? Thanks for the 5. Keep doing what you're doing, Tug. Tim has lost his mind. Lumps you in the quartering with the young turts. Sam Sneeder is low-tier garbage. Man, fuck all those people. Man, all these political heads. Like I said, you want to know what politics I represent? I represent the 98% of us that are in the middle, just trying to get along and live. We'll disagree with all kinds of stuff. Who cares? You know, most of us are talking about, we're talking about ideals, you know, or ideas. We're not talking about the reality of a situation anymore. And, you know, we're confronted by talking heads all the time. What's up, Semi? Thanks for the 5. Tug, the thug gives the warmest hugs, indeed. So I look at this stuff and I think it's all sheer crap. We're normal people. My skepticism runs so deep that if someone tells me they're normal people, I can't help but wonder what a normal person would actually say. I fear for a moment the walls might collapse to reveal a TV studio. Maybe you're all actors. Oh no, did he accuse them of being crisis actors? I think that's dangerous, man. I've heard that before. Yeah. Maybe you're all actors. Maybe you all cleaned up and are running a script for me. I said, half kidding. How old was Eliza when she moved to LA? 17. How did you handle her going out there so young by herself? Again, this is the reality. Did she move to LA? I don't doubt that. You know, I mean, you tie in the story with reality. We always try to be some more to what she did. She's done modeling the whole time she was growing up. She did print ads and commercials. I didn't think that much of it. I guess other than that, well, it's probably going to be crash and burn because most of the situations are, but I'm not going to tell her she can't do it. Were you worried about her being out there alone? Her father drove her out because she had a vehicle and all this other stuff. So Rich was there to see her apartment, neighborhood. As far as being worried, I think any parent would be. Hollywood is a gritty, nasty place. You could practically see the Chinese theater from her apartment. What does that mean, by the way? Oh my God, those Chinese. I mean, what is that supposed to mean? I don't know Hollywood. Is that a nasty place or is that an, oh my God, the Chinese? I don't like for the average reader. I like, is that a bad area? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that means. EB, thanks for the 5. I'm waiting for your comments. Just sent you the latest Tim Pool Gaslight Meltdown Extravaganza by PayPal donation. It's a doozy. Awesome. I'm going to love it. I sure you hope you have fun covering it. I will. I definitely will. I see. I'm reading. You can see China from your apartment. It's a famous theater. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, is the area bad or something? Or is that just like what? Like my mom, you know, she's lived in the middle of nowhere for a long time. So if she were to go to Nashville, even the nice part, she'd be like, oh my God, you know, this is bad. You know what I mean? Hey, DJ, thanks for the vibe. Thanks for the coverage, bro. When Tim read my super chat, I was flabbergasted. Indeed, canceled immediately. Now I'm here now, sub to everyone who was censored. Good, man, good. Again, the funniest hit that I think, if y'all didn't see it, Yellow Flash, he put up the escort pass of her, and he put a comment that said $500 a night. Well, he was banned for trying to essentially sell illegal goods or services. So he was being accused of trafficking, Eliza. I was like, that is messed up. That's probably the fun. It's so messed up though. It's not just this too. So Andy, whether you like him or not, Andy NGO, he got like 12 or 13 items hit, and Twitter Trust and Safety sounded off on that today. And they said that it was because he was copying. So he takes screenshots and he'll copy what people said to make sure people understand. And he had put in he'd CC'd the links to the head of Twitter Trust and Safety saying this is what that is. And they hit him for it. They said that it was him encouraging or inciting violence. So he was reporting violence, and he got hit for over a dozen items. I mean, that's nuts. That's where Twitter is right now, though. I mean, it's not just these stories. This though shows you a link, but by and large, the whole lie, the whole facade of this free speech idea is collapsing. It's falling apart. And in the middle of it, this is the thing that got people focused and noticing some of the problems. He also commented on it. He said, so Andy NGO said that it was unfair, that the bannings, they needed to be looked into. And wow, he gets hit himself. Gets the old noggin jogging. I mean, when I think about it, I'm sure you can guess what I'm thinking about.
That's part of the op, bro.
Exactly. That's part of the op, bro. So, how did you find out about her overdose? A doctor from Cedars-Sinai called me. Imagine getting a phone call from an ER in LA from a physician who tells you, I don't care what it takes, get your daughter on a plane, get her home. He had a foreign accent, freaking Chinese theater. And he told me that Eliza been abused in a horrible way. Did they do any kind of paperwork on that? I mean, typically, if you're taken into a place and there's any kind of report of abuse, aren't they supposed to file a report in some way? Like, wouldn't that be like sheer, like, negligence on Cedars-Sinai part? Isn't that what they're alleging with that? If a doctor didn't file something, I'm not talking about overdose, but he said along with that she had been abused in some horrific way. Geos thinks you should do a show with Nick once a month over on Rumble. You could call Pope Tugs. Pope Tugs that pickle. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, we interact on Flashcast and stuff. My humor is, I guess, different sometimes. Like, I have a combination of dad humor and some meanness every now and then, but I think we mesh well sometimes, and sometimes, Camelot, I think, is more that speed. I love them all, by the way. I do. There's nothing negative in men in that. I know my limitations on being on shows. So, do you know how long she was at the hospital before they call you? Not sure. How did they know to call you? She was still on her health insurance. They billed our insurance. So they billed the insurance, but they didn't make a report. So they billed as an ambulance and rape kit, they're telling us. So do we have a report of that? They billed as. That would mean, a person that is curious about this stuff could find out if that's true, by the way. They could find out if it was actually something that was investigated in any way, shape, or form. Because the police are supposed to be contacted anytime that is initiated as a even back when, that is supposed to be the protocol. So she's not sure if his ID or health card on one person, but it seems unlikely given the situation she'd be in. Her mom remembers one of Eliza's friends called her prior to the overdose, warning her that her daughter was in trouble. It's impossible to say, but the latter seems more likely. So she says it was billed as an ambulance, a rape kit. Her mom reviewed the bill, given her history in healthcare. She was able to break down everything the hospital had done for her. She tried to treat the overdose. Rape kit had been confirmed as sexual crime. The age of consent in California is 18. Oh, so they automatically treat sex as a sex crime because of the age? Is that what that's saying? Because she's 17. And then you got her plane ticket home. Yes. And I was looking for this, beautiful blonde girl. That's the daughter I remember. And I'm looking around like, the plane's landed, but where is she? I didn't even see her. She was huddled in one of those chairs outside the gate, curled in a ball. I didn't recognize her. Skin and bones. Her hair had been dyed black. She was sleeping. It was like growing to a stranger and saying, "Are you my daughter?" Yeah, she was a junkie, it sounds like. She had an overdose. She sounded like a junkie, I've known many a junkie. Benjamin, thanks for the 10. Tim and Shane are obtuse about this. It's not disavowing Eliza. It's censorship for most of us. If they were TYT, banning Jeremy and others, Tim would have been pushing back. Indeed, here's the thing. People have been left to their own devices about the why. Why are people being banned? What's the problem? But we're told that's a cancellation op. Again, it was just an op, a huge op to try to destroy her and her credibility. No, making people ask the why after the flagrant censorship, that brings everything into question. So anyway, "Are you my daughter?" How did she respond? She didn't really respond to me for at least 5 days. We were in her bedroom upstairs, took food up to her, stuff like that. I'm a health professional. I knew she was alive and okay, but she was sleeping a lot, not talking. She couldn't write. It took quite a while getting her back to what we would consider herself. Yeah, I've been through detox before. I mean, I'm talking like home detox, and it ain't fun, You don't move. You want to lay there. You don't feel good. It makes you sick as your body purges this awful shit. She was saying that she was on crystal meth at the time. So I mean, it does have it depends on what they did with her. If she was got it out of her system, but was on the rebound, yeah, you would expect that as well. Skin and bones, everything else. I mean, for sure, you would expect that. And you didn't know about anything about what she says she experienced in LA. At that point, I only knew what the doctor had told me. He also said something to the effect of, thankfully, Eliza wasn't just a number for him. And when she came to, I understand she went back to LA fairly soon after, yes. That also sounds like addict behavior, Got to get my fix on. I mean, that's very much so. And again, I don't judge people for addiction. I've been there. I can very well talk about it because I've been there, Been there, had that, supersized that shit, So, I mean, I can definitely talk about that. Like I say, I don't judge anyone for that kind of shit. That would be pot calling you said something about pot. No, I'm just kidding. Pot calls the pot. Ooh, pot. Part of the difficulty was she got an apartment out there. She got a car, and we were trying to decide, well, what do we do? Do we go back, get the stuff ourselves and bring it back here? People will think, how could this happen to a politician's daughter? I said, So they bring up again, oh, well, that can happen to anyone. Again, this is deflection against any point. We haven't gotten into the censorship or anything because she's interviewing daughter about backstory. You can tell that this was meant as a puff piece, that they've re-engineered it, as it were, into something where they could bring up, oh, well, I'm getting backlash. I'm getting flack because of it. Well, you already did the interviews and stuff. You're trying to make stuff fit into like this hodgepodge. So it looks like it's not a puff piece, but it was always meant to be a puff piece. And it was. I mean, you embed a writer with somebody before the controversy breaks out. They didn't feel like mentioning it whatsoever when everything was popping up. Again, yeah, you tell me what's happening with that, I mean, it sounds like, hey, Alan, thanks for the 50 there. Thank you. Tim constantly tells his audience to stand up against the woke mob, corporations, and government risking their livelihoods and food for their children. But heaven forbid you demand he goes against censorship or guests that lie to his or our face. Yeah, I mean, well, shit, if you're going to attack, he attacked his own. Again, if you and I disagree, I may argue with you, individually, but I'm not going to take a blanket statement and be like, all of you are wrong, every one of you. If I'm fucking up enough that there's an army of people wanting sense, if I didn't want to cover something, I'd tell you. I've been there before too. I don't like shootings, mass shootings where kids, I don't like covering stuff like that. I don't like it. I feel horrible for that, but I don't like to cover that kind of stuff, and it's just a kind of story that, it doesn't set with me well. So I understand not wanting to cover something, but there's something else to it too. I also didn't introduce that to my crowd, here and be like, yo, let's uplift this person, and then, but it could literally happen to anyone, she says, taking some events to the question. You would have to be on stronger grounds by saying she grew up in a deeply Christian home. How could this happen there? That could be your argument. Oh, well, glad that you tell him how to write his story. That's pretty good. When Eliza returned to LA, she joined AA. Her parents would visit as frequently as they could. When she went back, we'd visit the open meetings with her. Why would you let her return? I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. I mean, you're not talking about somebody that had a junkie past, okay? You're talking about somebody, you're telling me that they have been trafficked. I do not understand as the parent, the one reading it, like, oh, well, I couldn't stop them. You better fucking believe you're paying for everything. I mean, they're paying the bills because she's not working. She's not out there, doing any of this. She's on their health insurance, she's got a car from them, I'm sure, everything else. Like, they're going to have some control over that situation. Why would they? Why would that? Again, for addiction, okay, you could be like, but the rest of a trafficking group, people trafficked me. I mean, the immediate question would be, would they traffic you again? Why would you allow that? Many thanks for the 5. Catching up, doctors are mandatory reporters of only children and elder abuse. If she was 17, consent. In California is 18, there should be a report. Yes. So there should be a police report on file, something. I mean, everybody knows her name. They know the area. You know what you can see right outside of that. So, exactly the area and everything else. You have they've given you the time frame and everything else. So went back, went to open meetings with her. She thinks that brought structure to her life that had been fractured. Eventually, she met a man she would marry before they moved back to Illinois to live with her parents. So again, their parents are paying the bills. They lived in a teepee in Big Bear, California, and started a band. Her mom said she was suspicious of her daughter's relationships, even when they were still dating. He was an intelligent guy, but they ran off, got married without telling us, so that was not good. She was still under 21 at this point, but sober. We weren't in favor of their union because there was a lot of volatility. Her father and I had a feeling that he was not a good person. That's why we didn't want her to marry him. But they eloped. He joined the military. They moved to Germany. Hey, I lived in Germany when I was a kid. I lived there. Frankfurt, baby, Frankfurt. Back in the day. Flux, thanks for the 5. Hashtag tugs tits. Indeed. That's the greatest hashtag ever. We weren't, not at this time when I'm sorry. Were you aware of how their relationship was out there? We weren't, not at the time when she married him, left for Germany. There was almost a year where we didn't speak. My mom was staying in touch with Eliza. We were telling me she's okay. We were thinking, okay, Eliza's going to run off and marry somebody we don't approve of. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're on your own. It wasn't until she called and said, he's beating me. And, we always had a rule in the house. You got married, don't come crying to us every time something goes wrong, unless you're being physically abused. I think this next step was we told her to pack up her stuff and get back here. So again, she comes back. So the one rule in their house is if there's abuse, you can come back. Now, I'm not saying I don't know anything about the relationship. I don't know any of that. There's a lot of domestic volatility is way, way too common. But you can't come back unless. Eliza would tell me that she didn't understand. She was in an abusive relationship. I was on a flight with a friend on the base in Germany, and I was joking with her about how he was treating me, and she got creeped out. She goes, "That's abuse." I was saying things like, "Yeah, he's so crazy, throws me downstairs, tried to choke me. I think he's going to kill me." In retrospect, I know now I was in trauma brain, but thank God for that friend. And that truth kind of snapped me. She thought, I just thought maybe we were like Sid and Nancy. If you're like Sid and Nancy. Okay. She left Germany for Illinois, and her mom told her she had to get a job. She chose beauty school. She said she had maintained sobriety throughout. She started to wonder if she was even an alcoholic anymore, because in her mind, looking back, her sobriety started at such a young age. She felt far removed from that person, but at the same time, the first experience in LA was so bad, it also helped to keep her clean at the time. Her mom said that Eliza had this idea that bands usually start tours on the coast, and by the time they get to Iowa City, they need their hair done. This was at a time when everyone was wearing black hair and all these other things. She would take her shears and go to Iowa City to do hair and stuff for these up-and-coming bands, and they were trying to hit it big, and quite a few of them did. Okay, so we're gonna get a background. Again, this is a puff piece. That's what all this is right here. You know, Jones, thanks for the 8. Your daughter brings home friend Eliza Bleu, and the next thing you know, she's earning $500 an hour. Oh no! Actually, that story from the Daily Beast. I mean, if you tell your friend, "Hey, I got you this job over here. You can make $500 an hour," and your friend's like, "Oh my God," your friend's like married and stuff. Yeah, where does the definition of trafficking begin again? You know, just curious about that. But anyway, this is how she wound up meeting her way, the singer for My Chemical Romance. She started styling the band, touring with them, eventually started a relationship with the singer. I'm curious about the relationship with the singer thing too. If you read stuff from that time, that is very much in question. I mean, there are a lot of people that were close to this that talked about her being a groupie and pushing her way into a sphere of influence around these people, like forcing her way in, because, you know, the closer to that you get, the more famous you get. So I wonder about that. I wonder about that. But it says it right here. The My Chemical Romance fan base hated her. They rallied online against her. They claimed she was a stalker. Everybody that claims stuff against her, they're the monsters, right? I wonder what My Chemical Romance has to say, if anything. I wonder if they're afraid to say anything because they might get a certain hashtag slapped on them. Cameron, thanks for the 5. So she's now pivoting from trafficking to abuse. Are we supposed to feel bad for a liar? Well, again, it's her puff piece too. So she can put in anything like this too. And again, I wouldn't even give a shit with this. The problem that the trafficking claims are just so out there. You have people that live with you at the time saying, this stuff isn't true. This stuff isn't true. They were engaged briefly. It fell apart. But Eliza has told me that it wasn't for anything other than the relationship couldn't sustain itself. They were both much younger then. And Eliza, for her part, was dealing with the aftermath of a divorce. Eventually, she was done with the music scene. Boy, they skipped a lot of time there, didn't they? This is that whole My Chemical Romance. They skip out on the groupie parts. They again, it's a puff piece. So they just shadow over the details that make you think, Now, you would think, Shane Cashman, that likes to write 5 million words in an article, might see there is a little bit more value unless he's writing a puff piece. Maybe because of the way the relationship with Gerard went. Maybe because of the ridicule she received from My Chemical Romance fan base. She had toured, been to stadiums, done MTV, and to her, it felt like that part of her life ran its course. Yeah, or, she was kind of given the pow, it wasn't working out anymore. She hit the roof on that. So her mom sat calmly in the living room, allowing me to ask questions about her family that seemed severely personal. She told me it brought her catharsis to talk about the events. It wasn't easy to confront, she said, but it was important. Oh man, look, bookshelves. Yes, that proves everything. Holy shit. You know what? I just connected the dots. I think I was trafficked. I've got 5 bookshelves near me. That's a dangerous sign, baby. Or maybe that means I was destined to be a hairdresser. I'm not sure. The dog barked, and her mom turned to see who might be outside. Everyone was a bit on edge. What does this have to do with anything, Shane? Good God, man. Awaiting some random person with a camera and a YouTube channel to show up and harass the family for answers that they wanted. Which, did anybody do that? Or you just been like, ooh, dun, 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 trying to set that stage? But it was just the plow truck and the mailman attempting to drive by one another on ice-covered roads. Every time I opened Twitter, this is what people were tweets screaming into my brain. They were shooting it right into his brain, right? She's a fraud, a textbook narcissist, an irrefutable, manipulative, compulsive liar, an evil grifter, the Thanos of thoughts. Thanos of thoughts. Snap, baby. Snap. The Thanos of thoughts, man. I wonder what Tim thinks about that.
That's part of the op, bro. That's
my bad. I love that clip. I can't help it. The Thanos of thoughts. A deceitful daughter of a dirty politician, a willing participant, fake victim, rape enthusiast, sick bee, the rape eps of feds, Elon's concubine, fake horror. He's just making up some of this stuff. I mean, I swear. He was like, what's going to sound good in that? Somebody go find me that Thanos of thoughts. I'm going to look that up. I'm going to see if I can find that. That would be an easy quote to find, right? The Thanos of thoughts. Others were still claiming that she had her tentacles so deep inside Twitter. She's acting as some sort of shadow CEO. Nobody was saying that, you dipshit. It was a joke. It was a joke. I made jokes about that. I was like, welcome to the new CEO. Why? Because again, they were shilling and banning so many people at the time. Dude, man, like download Humor EXE. Maybe that'll help you. I mean, seriously, man. She's a shadow CEO, dude. Ugh. No wonder they think there's an op, bro. I mean, why would... Oh, Lord. My God. Mimic things with 5. The pictures of the book is actually a look at the rest of the many volumes of Shane's endless series on Eliza. Is that what that is? Give me 1 second. That's what it is. This is actually what Shane wrote. Eliza part 17. You're like, this is when she was buttering her bread at a truck stop. And that's not a euphemism either. Oh, that's hilarious. She has short hair like Elon's mom. So others see this as a reason for Elon bending to her will. What? Did you hear anybody say that? Well, she's got short hair like Elon's mama. Therefore, I didn't hear that. I mean, if you did, let me know. But I didn't hear that anywhere. Again, they just want to make everyone sound crazy. This is a hit piece, all right? This isn't a puff piece. This is a hit piece on you. This is a hit piece on you, on me. That's what this is. That is a hit piece, baby. But it is, again, aimed at us. They demanded that she come forward and admit she's a total con, that her entire family is in on it too. No, they said that her dad behind the scenes may have been the reason that certain media like Red State wouldn't cover. It could have been Elon. Again, people are looking at governmental connections. The person's talking about, hey, FBI this and, got government family that. Yeah, that makes people don't trust the government. Huh. I mean, wow. In other news, the grass is green, Shane. Shit. They want her to accept punishment. Some are calling for jail time. They are saying I'll be swept away in the fallout of her going nuclear. I wonder if that's from me, like laughing about nuclear. I told you it would go nuclear, and it did go nuclear yesterday. So I wonder if that's a spinoff of some of that stuff. I could sense that Eliza was growing impatient in her silence. She didn't have to wait for me to attempt to share the story. And like I told my editor-in-chief before I took the plane out there, it's very possible I will write a story that will make Eliza want to go scorched earth on me. Yeah, apparently she doesn't think that, because she's like, I give you permission to write your story, Shane. She didn't even look at you as a reporter, son. She didn't look at you as a threat at all. She looked at you as just another freaking puff piece writer. That's what she saw you as. I mean, in the mirror, maybe that's what you look like. Maybe that's because you're so swole, right? I'm just collecting answers, sifting through what feels right and wrong, true or false, and turning to research to see what does or doesn't add up. How could I sense her impatience? Because she said, honestly, I like you, Shane, but I don't need Shane Cashman to tell my story. Oh, Shane. She's telling you, you ain't nobody, man. She could monetize her story much, much better than Shane Cashman. She gave you all permission to monetize her, too. Wasn't that fun? A joker of Juggernaut. Thanks for that. I believe Chrissy made the joke about Elon's short hair, or the Eliza's short hair comparing to Elon's mom, and the fact that Point made it in is hilarious, at least. So that tells you that they're watching all these shows. That's funny too. And they are, by the way. Tim kind of let that out of the bag. When the quartering went on, he said, I don't know for sure. So he just threw two random people out there, is what he's essentially saying. But he was watching Brittany Venti. He was watching Chrissy. Yeah, they've been keeping up. They know what's what. I know not everyone in the world is a Twitter junkie like the rest of us, and I still try to have hope that this is the case, though after the flood of messages I've received, it's become harder to believe that the whole world hasn't been sucked into the vacuum of Twitter. But the story seemed important. I couldn't really explain why yet, but the chaos that exploded from this situation was as horrifying to me as the accusations levied against Eliza. That, along with the very real nightmare of human trafficking, was beginning to damage my soul. Holy crap. Try doing therapy or something for little kids or something. You think writing a fucking piece right here, that's just damaging. Come on, man. The ego, man. I could sense that if I looked at Twitter too much, my soul might actually start decaying. You look like you've seen a ghost, she said, as we stood outside her parents' house. I detest writing under these conditions. It's not the end of the world. No offense to you, Shane, but I don't think it's so much about my story or clearing my name. My name is clear with God. Dun, dun, dun. It's how God got worked in right before this. Maybe that's because somebody read this before we did. I wasn't so much here to clear her name as I was to give an alternate account so that we could all attempt to make up our minds with new information, new details, new perspectives. She told me she was going home to rest and that we could meet up later to continue the interview. I imagined underground silos opening across the farmland all around me and nuclear missiles lifting off into the low gray sky. My God, he thinks he's writing a novel for sure. As Twitter grew into an even greater monster, I told my editors that I was planning on writing another full piece on just the people who had been affected by the Twitter bans connected to Eliza. I was given their contacts and prepared questions for each of them. Yeah. I don't think you contacted anybody. I would have heard if you contacted certain people for sure. I don't think that you contacted. You want to fact check that? You want to see if that's true or not at all? If he did any kind of contacting? Let me see. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's ask Yellow Flash. Hey man, did Tim Pool's writer contact you after your ban? Live and curious. I'm writing right now. Let's see. Let's see if he writes me back. I mean, hey, he's saying, well, I know most of the people that have been banned. I know almost all of them. I could clear that up in a heartbeat if you've even tried to reach out, which maybe he'll disprove in a minute. But he says, oh, I was going to do that. I was going to. No, I'll ask Venti. I'll ask everybody. I'll put out fillers for everybody. After she split with Gerard, she moved down to a Christian commune in Chicago called Jesus People and left soon after because she couldn't get her hands on some hair dye. Wait, she moved to a commune but couldn't get free hair dye, so she had to bounce. She would later move into an apartment in Wicker Park, Chicago. She's having a hard time affording. She used her certificate for beauty school to get a gig to benefit cosmetics for $10 an hour. That was in 2010. It was around this time when she did American Idol too. One of her clients at the Benefit Brow Bar worked for Chanel. She had told Eliza that her fragrance and beauty department manager quit and said, I want you to apply. She got the job. She worked at the Chanel boutique. So did he just jump right over? Is he going to go back to anything like the mess like that? So she worked at the boutique, Michigan Avenue, from around September 2011 to April 2012. She was making decent money, but her lifestyle started to exceed her means. She left her apartment in Wicker Park because keeping up with the high cost of rent became increasingly difficult. When she applied to be a cocktail server at a strip club downtown Chicago, they asked her to audition to dance, and she did. She made sure to tell them she willingly chose to start dancing. Or she told me she willingly chose to start dancing. Okay, so she's an exotic dancer. She got her job. I don't care if you're an exotic dancer, by the way. Just saying. It pieces in certain things. It started after drifting back into drinking. So here, the alcoholism comes back. As I was going through this time live, I asked her if this was when Carly Wenzel was quoting the Daily Beast, visit her in Chicago. She told the Daily Beast that a lot of Eliza's old friends around her are really angry. I met Carly like one time while I was in beauty school. God, man. Hey, Daily Beast, somebody tell the Daily Beast here that she's calling them a bunch of fucking liars and the friends, because I'm sure her ex-friends had a lot more to say. I would love to do an interview with one, in fact. Hey, could you clarify this? Because. And then after that, she was friends with my ex-roommate. Carly was women all over the place. I only really knew anything about her because she was friends with a roommate. Carly and I were never super close. And I ran into her when I moved back to the Quad Cities because she was working at a spray tan salon there. Last time I saw her, she was getting arrested at the spray tan salon. She was on pills and drinking badly. Oh, character assassination, baby. She's a junkie. You can't listen to that shit. I hope she enjoys that. What's up, Sinmon? Thanks for the 5. I'm part of our PR firm and your important work you're doing. Here's your payment. We'll be in contact in the future. I figured the cigars were payments, but thanks for the 5 spot there. Eliza said that Carly visited her first apartment in Chicago, the one she couldn't afford, and that this was well before her second trafficking took place. Wenzel told the Daily Beast she visited their apartment in 2011. This was when Eliza claims to have been in her first Chicago apartment. This would also be when she worked at Benefit in the Chanel. Wenzel also claimed that Eliza attempted to convince her to do escort work where she would make $500 a night. Eliza said that's a lie. Man, people around her, this is where you get fucked right here, because the people around you, they're the ones with the receipts. They're going to have the receipts for sure. I hope that. So she was still working at the beauty salon when they visited. She claimed her abuse didn't start until after she started working at the strip club. I stripped for 3 nights, and I made so much money, I eventually quit my other job. The dancers had to pay a house fee regardless of how much money or how much they made at night. She was doing good until winter came, and the business died down for the season. I think my house fee might have been like $250 or something like that. There were a lot of nights where I was leaving negative. There were 25 girls. They were all top tier. I'm a specific flavor because of my short hair. I was good looking, but I was already a little older. I wasn't bad looking for my age, but I was older. The other girls were like 21. When did you meet the man you say trafficked you? Outside the strip club. And you won't name this guy either. That's not going to happen right now. I have to ask why. I can't. You know I need to ask why. Like, are they still threatening you? Or is there some legal reason? If you told me this guy's name, I could look him up and uncover what's there, if anything. She made it clear, once again, she wasn't going into names. No names, of course. You just have to take everything on faith. Just like you were told at the beginning of this, right? Hey, Joe, thanks for the 8. Maybe Eliza really is born again. And God said, first thing we're going to do is expose your scams and lies. Praise Jesus. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's funny. So are you afraid of retribution? I have feelings of fear, she said. She made it sound like as though this person, whomever it was, knew this address, knew where to find her parents, and had made certain threats. I wonder if naming him, if the accusations are false, would be some kind of way of keeping her safe, though, just by the very fact that if she were to say his name, then anything nefarious that would transpire could then be investigated. But I suppose that sort of investigation would only take place after the threats had been carried out. Yeah, she's got enough profile on her, not to mention political ties and everything else that, I mean, really? Not to mention, was it her daddy that was talking about, packing a little heat? Like, I mean, if they're like here, like, just to say, like, I'm probably better off than most of our, if you came to my house to do some dirty, you wouldn't leave upright. There's no way, if you did, I could be the worst aim in the world. I mean, when you feed your shotgun by canister, it doesn't matter how well you aim. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if they're even remotely connected at that level, Viral Shorts, thanks for the 5. Tug, all of this deflection tactic to avoid the issue, and that is silencing people. Please, Tug, keep this up until infinity. If you hadn't noticed from the Depp Heard stuff or Vic Mignogna before that, as long as something has my interest, which it can have for a long time, I keep going down the rabbit holes. I can't stop. I'm entertained. Like right now, I'm very entertained. So it's very hard for me to look away. And again, she could just blow all of the doubts out of the water very easily, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. Doesn't sound like it, right? Throw it all together. Throw these people, but of course, if you put a name to it, they would get to defend themselves too. That would be a real problem. They could defend themselves legally. So, or like you, the reader might keep thinking, perhaps he can't be named because he's not real. And it's okay to ask these questions even when they don't feel appropriate. But we should all be trained to question everything, no matter what, without any fear of recourse. Can you not name his name because this is something that's currently being pursued in the courts? It's a legal issue, she said. Can you describe him then? Good looking, charismatic, wealthy. I thought we were dating, but now in retrospect, it was not dating. It escalated quickly. No trafficker is going to say to you, like, I'm going to traffic you now. That's not a thing that happens. I mean, it can happen, I suppose, in some cases. When you're talking about trafficking, you can't really make broad sweeping strokes like that. But that's not, hey, what's up? Just met my wife came in. Hey, we're going through this. Yeah, here, bring it over to me.
All right.
Mini tacos.
We're back from church.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good one. Careful. Don't run over anyone I wouldn't run over. I like it. We have the best, like there's a Mexican food truck. I think that's what they call it, the Mexican food truck. It's called that at one time, but they have the best, like they have mini tacos and they are delicious. My God. I think I'm addicted to them for real. If you hear me mainlining these things, you're like, ooh, hot sauce. But anyway, that's not how my story went down. If you listen to stories of so many survivors, that's not how their stories go either. I thought that we were developing a relationship, but was grooming me to traffic me. Yes, actually, traffickers will say, yo, I'm trafficking you. You know, they will kidnap people and they do all kinds of horrendous shit. You would think an advocate would realize that. He said this person was high status. He was an athlete, not a household name. And by the way, this is not rare. Athletes have been arrested for trafficking. Former athletes have been arrested for trafficking. I'm not trying to dog out athletes, but this is not rare. So you started dating this person on and off. You think you're in love. It felt like love. Was he abusive? Yes, he started grooming me right away. When you say grooming, what do you mean? Seeing what he can get away with sexually. I didn't get beat up until I started being a problem. I was still dancing at the time at some of this. When you told me you were trying to leave, do you mean you were trying to leave while trafficking was happening? I was never in chains. I kept trying to leave the situation. I kept trying to relieve the lifestyle. I kept trying to leave everything. I wanted to leave. I don't understand what was happening. I still didn't have the language or definition to that. What was happening was trafficking. I was being forced to be with clientele. I was wondering where the trafficking part was going to come in. Hey, what's up? Critical Blast. Thanks for the 5. Hey, Tug. Check out the parody somewhere. Eliza Bleu. Hey, message that to me. Appreciate it too. What's up, man? By the way, Critical Blast. Check out Critical Blast. By the way, I like the tip behind it. He's good people. Hey, Captain Mick. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tug's Thugs. By the way. So, how's the force happen? Are there threats? We know where you live. She said he'd say, and that's coming from this boyfriend. Yes. Were they living? Okay, I was trying to see if they were living together there. I know where you live because you live with me. I'm like, okay. Would you say people who hear this think, oh, she's just a sex worker, she's working for a pimp? How's that trafficking? If I said to you, Shane Cash, man, we're gonna go over to the next farm and you're gonna carry wood for the next 2 hours, dude pays you $300, and I'm like, that money is mine because you stayed here with my parents. That's labor trafficking. I'm just saying that if selling sex just one time, that is trafficking. I'm just saying if it's selling sex just one time, that's trafficking. So all the people that are calling me liars. So if she sells sex, it's trafficking. I thought she said there were instances where where selling sex wasn't trafficking. So all those people calling me a liar, literally, it only had to happen one time and it would be considered trafficking. The way she made it sound like, when she talked about it before, she was held captive by gangs and shit like that. Am I just imagining that? Did I imagine that part of the story? Where she was like captive by gangs and, being trafficked with a bunch of transgender prostitutes. I did hear that, right? I mean, I did hear that part. Because it seems, not that. But of course, it's only one time now. Could go back and be like, oh, he didn't traffic me for 2 months here. So we can pull that out of the question or equation. And then I went back for 2 nights. Okay. But the entire time, the mental gymnastics, the coercion. Do they want me to sit down and be like, okay, technically it was 5 years of trafficking when you take every month that I wasn't forced into it? Okay, so now the 5 years living in trafficking, she wasn't in. Oh, so this just got fascinating. That's actually a huge statement there because her idea of being trafficked for 5 years meant that she would go, she would have sex, then she would be free to do whatever for months. Then she would go have sex clientele again. That's 5 years of trafficking that way. Like, again, the mental image that she allowed through these statements. She has willfully misled people, by the way. So when she kept it vague before, she willfully made it sound like she was being held hostage and trafficked and that she escaped. I mean, the language there, that's not that. Okay, technically, it was 5 years of trafficking. When you take out every month that I wasn't forced into, I'm not trying to live in the past. I'm an advocate now. Did he operate alone? Were there others that he was doing this with? Yes. Do you know them? Yes. Look, this was a large chunk of my 30s. So when the people in the Daily Beast said, like, she never said anything about being trafficked when I saw her in 2011. First of all, I wasn't being trafficked at that point. And second of all, I didn't even know what to call it when that was happening to me until I escaped the first time. So the second experience happened to me after someone like Wenzel didn't even really know me. She had no context. I'm 41. They didn't know anything about me when I became a survivor advocate in private. They didn't see me working with legitimate organizations and being a survivor advocate. Besides, when I escaped that first time and went to a safe house, I wasn't being an advocate, but I did start to understand what was really happening to me. When you say escape, how'd that go down? I was in Humboldt Park then. I had a Bible from the strip club. One of the advocate organizations dropped Bibles there, and I took one. There was a contact in the back of the Bible. I reached out. I didn't identify as a victim of human trafficking because I still didn't know what it was, but I told them what was going on. I asked for help. My self-esteem was so low that I said I didn't think I deserved help at all. I mean, again, that is a much different story than has been told. Much different. So the correction, the way to say, oh, well, that's because people have questioned the timeline saying, hey, how are you being held captive? How are you being trafficked for 5 years when you're out here doing all this other stuff? Well, I didn't mean 5 years total. I just meant, this was happening once in a while here. Well, how did you escape? Oh, I chose to leave. I found a Bible and I contacted an organization. That, man, when you say escaped my traffickers, again, you know what you're telling people. You know what you're saying there. Rabbit, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Viral Shorts, thanks for 10. If a small time MBO can silence 20 content creators, what happens if major names do the same thing? Like Tim, something to really think about. Oh yeah. I mean, we've seen that again, again, when we were all preparing for the Heard case, I can't tell you how many people got banned. I got hit 9 incidents on my channel, 9 incidents, not times. When I say an incident, that was like I had a privacy complaint strike that came in and they hit 2 separate things. So that was 3 hits in that one chunk. So I had 9 of those just from that. I think it was a year before the trial. I have to look exactly. I'd have to ask my MCN like when that actually happened. But yeah. I mean, when they're swinging for the fences, like some people, you can tell that they have power and clout. You can. And I can't imagine what it would have been like if Elon Musk would have owned the platforms when we were talking about this shit, because a lot of that stuff was damaging for him. So I can't even imagine. I can't imagine, actually. I very much know what it would look like. Celtic Warrior Poet, thanks for 10. Tug behind. Just started watching you. Had me laughing with you. You're killing me. Hell, a minute, bro. Even beating the Big C complications a year later. Okay, modding. Went and can. Keep up the good work. Hey, you take care of yourself. You make sure that you are healthy. Health's the one thing. You've got to look after yourself for sure. And I'm glad you're here. So in 2013, Eliza sent an email to a woman named Annie Dunwald. That's the person that got sued, by her own parents because she was a fraud. Who founded Eve's Angels, a Christian non-for-profit organization that ministers to women in the sex industry. Years later, that email found its way into the hands of Annie Lober, president and founder of Hookers for Jesus. She also runs 2 safe houses. So did she consider her a hooker? Was that? I'm just curious, like the name, is that what they primarily focus on? How did you meet Eliza? I asked when I reached out to her. Annie? Okay, I was making sure they're spelled differently. So Dunwald is A-N-N-Y and A-N-N-I-E, Annie. So I-E, Annie, said that it would be years before she met Eliza in person after she'd seen the email that was sent to Eve's Angels. The phone number Eliza left in the emails was accidentally 1 digit off of her real phone number, and Eliza never responded to the email. They couldn't reach her. Unfortunately, Annie I.E. said, I believe it's because she was in a bad situation where she couldn't. Why do you think women stay with abusers so long? This is what I remember with my first trafficker. The relationship was so fast, like literally he moved in with me within a week. He was saying, I love you so quick. You're making me crazy. He said, I was so honest about who I was with him, everything about my life, all that happened to me up to that point. But I think he was just analyzing me. How long were you with him? I asked. I worked a 10-year stint solid with 2 different traffickers. Is this Annie that's speaking? So this is Annie speaking. Why do I have Annie's story? Is this Annie's story? Yeah, this is Annie's story. So this is actually very confusing the way this works in, because this is somebody else's tale put into the middle of this, though. You know, I mean, Shane Cashman decided to interview another person and put their tale in here. That's what it looks like, you know. So this is what I remember when my first trafficker relationship was so fast. Said, you know, he's analyzing me. How long were you with him? 10-year stint, 2 different traffickers. I was with probably around 10,000 buyers in that time. I was bougie high class call girl, but every dollar went to the cell phone girl, and then to the man that I was in love with at the time, unfortunately. So for me personally, I'm not going to read all this shit, you know. I'm going back to where Eliza. Okay, so here. So as far as Eliza, I'm skipping her story because it doesn't matter in this. This is distraction. This is a weapon of mass distraction. This tells you somebody else's tale in the middle, and it's actually quite confusing because of the way it works in. So as far as Eliza, when I meet another person that's been trafficked, you just know. You just know. I'm sorry I can't explain it, but you just know. Our stories are so similar. Do you think you can always do that? Do you really think that? Do you think somebody might be able to manipulate you with something? Or you both worked in sex industry? It's so not right when they're doing to her now, taking stuff out of context. Oh, she's sweet, generous, kindest, beautiful I've ever met. She started to cry and asked me to include the way she feels about Eliza. The girl has gone through hell. I'm not reading all that too. So anyway, this is back to Eliza. So all of this is just shit that doesn't even belong in here. Look how much there is too. I mean, for real. Like, this is somebody else's story in this. Look at that. This has nothing to do with Eliza. And again, you might think it does. Eliza remembers a white van rolling up to her apartment in Chicago that rescued her. The driver, Cheryl, who was with Eve's Angels, threw all her stuff in the van. They moved in the middle of the night. They brought her a pack of cigarettes for the ride. She was traveling a few states away. Did the boyfriend try reaching out while I was on the way to refuge? Yes. Once I was there, I wasn't allowed to have my phone or anything. It was kept in a manila envelope and safe. That didn't have the code. It was far out of reach. I never dealt with my own trauma. I told my first advocate, Cheryl, all the worst things that I never would have told anyone, but I did. I told her and was like, I'm just going to let you know that you don't have to identify this way, but I just want to let you know, by the law in the United States, you'd be considered a victim of human trafficking. And I was like, no, I thought human smuggling was human trafficking. I thought she was crazy. She had to break down everything. And eventually I understood. So again, you done with this boyfriend? Nope. I took a Greyhound bus back to Chicago in a few months. Did you bounce from the safe house secretly? I missed him, even though I was in this place with all the love and food and new friends. It was a beautiful environment. It looks a lot like this. Their award-winning safe house. If things get bad enough, I give them carte blanche to speak about my entire time there. What happens when you return to Chicago? Do you go right to doing what you were doing? He's just back in. He was violent. Do you tell him where you went? I told him I was in rehab to cover my ass. And you're right back to the drinking and the drugs. Drugs weave in and out. So we didn't get the addiction part. Shane actually didn't even bother to ask that. He allowed her to tell the narrative that she was drinking now. But drugs, man, you do some fucked up stuff. Again, I always like this statement that before drugs, you don't have many problems before drugs. After drugs, you only have one problem. Drugs. Getting more drugs. That's it. And people will trade anything for it. Was it different when you returned? In terms of how you looked at your situation. The safe house was the first time I met fellow survivors. Now I knew that legally I was technically a survivor, but didn't even identify like that yet. She gave me this space to define that for myself on my own terms. I didn't self-identify right away. I'm sure for every survivor it's different, but at the safe house, I met about 8 other women or more that had almost the exact same story, like some very different ways, some very, very different ways. There was everything from famous porno star to an individual who was being trafficked for money for crack. She had no teeth. We ran the whole gamut, but all of our stories were kind of the same. And I think meeting other survivors and knowing that I wasn't alone, it started to break some of the mental chains. You have addiction issues, money issues. If you get arrested, it actually helps the trafficker because then you have a hard time getting a regular job. Were you thinking about escaping for good? A few things happened. I went to police to report a sexual assault, and I was arrested off a warrant for reckless driving. I was put in the county jail. I went to report the assault, and the police took me to the hospital. It was clear right away that he didn't believe me. I stayed overnight, got a sexual assault kit. After the sexual assault kit, the police arrested me in the morning. The female officer had tears in her eyes. She was devastated. It was a warning for me. Man, so what about that kid? Also, at that stage of my life, I'm getting older, so the late nights aren't as easy anymore. My looks were starting to fade because the lifestyle's taking a toll on me. Then my nephew was born. Once my nephew was born, it was a game changer. I'd never had anyone in my life like that. That's when things started to change in my head, but it still wasn't right even then. Finally, I was here on the farm. I would come back to the farm and try to get together. Oh, my parents didn't bail me out either. They weren't going to come to the rescue. I don't even understand how the nephew works into this. I don't. It's like huge swaths. You got arrested because you got arrested, and you were like, but I was there for this other reason. Okay. There are multiple videos of you circulate on the internet where you seem to conflict with trafficking time in Chicago. There's one where you talked about $150,000 for sex. I look at those videos and see that I'm drunk. So she was drunk then. Hey, she was drunk when she was bragging about how $150,000 for sex. That wasn't she can't be believed then. Is that what she's telling me? So she was lying then, but trust her now. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I look at that and I was drunk. I was just, no shit, you were bragging because there's no way that you were getting offered $100,000 for sex. I mean, we all knew that, but that's interesting. I mean, she's admitting she lied. She's admitting, oh, well, back then, I look at myself and I was like drunk. I'm pulling up the chat on my computer, by the way, my phone went dead. So just give me 1 second. I like to see what people are saying. possibly high, not myself. I'm not the same person that's sitting here right now. I see those vids as a legit cry for help. It's a legit cry for fame. So she admits she's a liar then. Do I know it was traffic that day? I don't know. But something was going on behind the scenes. I have also repeatedly admitted that I had full-blown Stockholm syndrome. Oh my fucking God. This is the deflection from the question. This isn't about even the question. The question was like, hey, what about your claim about 150 grand? That was a cry for help. No, that was a fucking cry for attention. Like, again, fame. Look at me. I'm so great. I could get $150,000 because, you know, I'm in that high of a demand. Like, you can't tell me that's trafficker. If somebody's trafficking you, they're not going to let you turn down 150 grand. That's what people said. And it doesn't make sense. So, of course, I was just drunk. I was just me. You know, I was fucking just, that was a cry for help. I had Stockholm syndrome. Like, I don't even know. I was never in chains. I actually went to the police department a few times, multiple places to report stuff. I was never welcome with open arms. But at the time, I was running cover for my abuser. If someone in a Christmas picture with your husband, you then think that everything must have been fine at home. It's absurd. They can all say whatever they want. I've been completely transparent about the fact that I had extreme trauma bonds with my former abuser. And I did run for cover. And I would have done literally anything for him. So she's saying at the time when she was doing videos that she was being trafficked. That's what she's saying. Viral Shorts, things of vibe. This is Shane Cashman and Tim Pool following the Believe All Women narrative. Yeah, the one that they've complained about repeatedly. Again, like, this stuff doesn't fit. Like, it's somebody investigating something. This would fucking set off huge red flag. And I would fucking see, you wouldn't invite me to ask questions because I would come prepared. I would come prepared with dates. I would have everything aligned. I wouldn't be writing a novel about your fucking life. If you wanted me to investigate something and to clear your name, like, that's what this should be, a clear my name thing. But no, she's telling us again, when all of those videos and with all that stuff, which you're seeing with her talking, I guess, where she's talking video vixen and stuff. I mean, isn't that the same timeline? Isn't that all? That's all there in that timeline. So she's telling all of that in the backdrop of that. She's being trafficked when she's bragging about turning down men for money, turning them down because she, you know, Knox thinks so too. She bragged to her mom about video. Exactly. It doesn't fit. This is a bunch of bullshit. Shane Cashman, you are a fucking coward for not calling her on this. You should have just been in there. You should have been like, yo, dude. Like, you shouldn't have just dropped that. You should have followed that shit up and you should have published what happened. I'd have been like, yo, I'm going to record you while we do this too. So you can't say, you know, I wouldn't have presented it this way, but then we would have, you would be able to see reactions too. Because the word, see, here's the problem with a written piece. Just like, again, I hate to flash back to case, but imagine this. If you, I'm sure most of you saw that fucking Depp Heard case, right? If you heard her words without seeing her on the stand, that's a different scenario. And then if you have puff piece writers, like you've seen the mainstream come in and they write puff pieces about it and they redefine what's happening, it just becomes further and further from the thing that actually transpired. That's what you have right here. If you want it, video, interviews, ask on camera. You get to look at body language. You get to see everything there. And this is somebody that's been on camera a long time. You can also, you know, you can look at the body language from interviews and stuff too, just to really get a feel for who this person is, you know, because they're telling you, you know, they're being trafficked, they're strung out, they're drinking, and maybe they are a drug addict, by the way. You know, I could very well buy that, but again, the idea of turning down, just that doesn't even make sense. I could rant about this forever, but it doesn't make sense. Trump Willis is my name. Thanks for the 5. This sounds like escort who decided to do more work whenever she was short on funds. Missed my last super, by the way. I'll get them. I will for sure. Thank you for that too. I will definitely get them. Yeah, I miss some when I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell is going on with this mess? But I'll go back and get them too if I miss them. If I miss a super chat somehow too. Again, this ain't grift pool. You know, I try to catch everybody. If I miss them, that's on me too. That ain't on you. That's on me. But if I'm being brutally honest, I don't know. So he was asked, I'm sorry, I missed the question. It looks like you were doing some cam girl stuff at the time too. If I'm being brutally honest, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked, right? But I don't remember. There are a lot of things I don't remember because you're a fucking addict, which is clearly not helping me. He used whatever he could advertise and sell me. All I know is that everyone knows me who watched is like, you are gone. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it. I'm not ashamed of the old me, but I don't want to live there in the past. Yeah, you know, I don't want to defend myself for the rest of my life. It's not part of my life anymore. I haven't stolen anything. I haven't committed a crime. I haven't committed fraud. Yeah. Maybe we define fraud differently. The Daily Beast bringing up people from the articles like, who, what? I said since the beginning, I've never had chains on my wrists, duct tape over my mouth, or ropes on my wrists, which is why I didn't identify as a victim or survivor of human trafficking. They don't understand that trafficking happens in plain sight. It could be someone doing your nails at the nail salon that's being trafficked. It could be someone that's going to school that's been trafficked. You can literally see someone every day. They work at Dunkin' Donuts or Dairy Queen being trafficked when you're not with them. You're trying to tell me that there's no way someone could have filmed a TV show and got trafficked later that night? Got it. Did those cameras follow me 24 hours a day? Were they there with me 365 days that year? So my problem again with this stuff is, so you're telling me you either lied about the 150 grand or you didn't, or you turned down money. Again, you can't say I turned down money and I'm being human trafficked. Like that won't work. You know, that won't work. Oh, I got somebody that wants to pay me $150,000. You know, again, you're telling me that you're a drug addict. You're telling me that, you know, you're willing to do anything for this person, but 150, that's life-changing money. You know, that's life freaking changing money, especially like as an addict again. 150 grand. Holy shit. You know how much crystal meth that would buy? Holy crap, man. You know what you could buy with that? That's nuts. I've always said, like, if I had YouTube and I had any success, like I saw last year, and I was an addict, I wouldn't be here talking to you today because I would have had enough money to you know, use. It wouldn't have been intentional, but you know, addicts don't control themselves. So yeah, that doesn't work. I guess the video that started the fire on Twitter happens around this time too, correct? I didn't quite know yet how the whole situation is going to plan out. I'll discuss this. My legal team knows every single thing about my story, every single thing. World Star made a decision to take the video down. Google and YouTube had made the decision to take the video down. They're going to continue. That's not true. This is a lie. Google and YouTube. So YouTube got a privacy complaint. YouTube, in taking down the video, when you privacy complaint, which she hit other people with too, it looks like, that is not a legal anything. If you have a team working, this is what she just told me, in my opinion. She just told you that she has a team working behind the scenes to try to scrub shit. That's what it sounds like to me. But no, that's not true. World Star took it down. Yeah, World Star said they owned it too. Maybe they were trying to, you know, again, we don't know why they did that. Just in Sapphire, thanks again. So trafficking is a catch-all word that means anything she wants to mean now. Yeah, Twitter trafficking and everything else. I mean, it just means whatever. And Twitter decided to take the video down to the best of their ability. My legal team made it clear that these tech companies, that they have proof that it was convincing enough without a lawsuit for them to bring it down. So fuck Twitter. Fuck Twitter then. Because they just told me, she just said that there is no legal fucking proof of anything. Twitter said lawsuit. That's why they fucking scrubbed that. So they got contacted, she's saying by what? a lawyer that was like, oh, cease and desist, made a threat or something. And they decided not to say, hey, why don't you go and take this to litigation? Why don't you do something about it? They decided instead to scrub every single link to it, banning dozens of people. And on top of that, they went after other things, humor, anything. You're going to tell me, like, their go-to has been that there's litigation. She herself just said right there, without a lawsuit, fuck that noise. Twitter has flagrantly lied to you. She lied too. She keeps telling us she's going to sue us and shit. Like I said, bring it. Fucking bring it. People have a right to question. I thought you were a free speech advocate too. You're going to tell me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that speaks for itself. Oh, it speaks about the abuses of this person and their connection to get it done. Can you talk about what they did? What was the proof? The overarching goal now is not to get any money, but to create and help others that hopefully don't go through that. At no point have I asked anyone, any tech company, or anyone to restrict someone's ability to speak freely. Bullshit. Bullshit. Even when it's against me, what about the privacy complaints? Even when it's vicious and malicious and disgusting and hateful. I've never once asked for anything to be removed. People have been trashing me online since MySpace. I can say without a shadow of a doubt, pisses me off. God, that makes me mad. Fuck Elon Musk. And I mean, fuck all these people on Twitter. Like, what do people need to prove that they lie constantly? Like, what has to happen? Like, some people I know will never look at this stuff and say, but I mean, they lied flagrantly, telling you that we can't speak to legal or criminal cases. They told you that this was about a criminal case. No, they just decided to throw in with this without a lawsuit at all. I hope World Star sues the shit out of them. I hope Brittany Vinny sues. If she decides to, I will go fund. I will be all over it. You know, Tug needs some therapy after this, man. I mean, seriously. No, it irritates me that we had the trust and safety head of a multi-billion-dollar company tell us that the reason that they're doing this stuff is because of litigation. Their reason is bullshit. So if it's not about litigation, then what was it about? Again, Twitter also told you on top of that they don't take down things that aren't filed properly. So they even told you that improper requests are rejected. That would be an improper request. If you just are saying, I need this taken down because whatever story you spin, that's not a proper request. So why would you say to the people who were suspended from Twitter when they only shared a screenshot from the blog video, it's not public anymore? Right. But before all that, it was public. In that context, I would understand how someone would be confused. You're fucking confused. You just spin. Man, fuck this. Like I said, if these people want war, man, it's like what I said with the Washington Post. Anyone else that wants to step the fuck to us, they want war. We can bring war. Twitter says, oh, you can't say, yeah. They want to declare open war on us. They want to ban us on platforms because you ask questions. They wanted to shut you down. I don't have to shut the fuck up for anybody. You can tell, like I said, you can tell that there is a major, major push for this person. You can see it, man. Like Timmy Pool's right. There's an op. It's an op, but it ain't what he's trying to blame as an op. You know, I mean, man.
That's part of the op, bro. That's
exactly. This is part of the op, bro. I'm gonna get so much mileage out of that. I gotta play the Cloud Goblin. I'm playing the Cloud Goblin. I mean, for real. God, man. So I could understand how they'd be confused. I would have appreciated if they would have asked me privately, but what the fuck did they You can't, okay. You got the ability to have free speech. You can say whatever you want. She'd die on that hill. Why didn't you hit me up privately, bro? You could ask about that. She called all that harassment, by the way. People that are hitting me up behind the scenes, that's harassment. Because people were asking. I understand that they may have thought it was public. It's not anymore. It was indeed public. It was public the whole time. And the only reason that it got taken down is because your ass privacy fucking hit it. She went after any mention of it. She tried to privacy strike. Think about the level that she went to with this. So she's telling us that she was behind at least part of the privacy strikes. Maybe not all of them. Again, I can't say that for certain, but I would say that her team was behind, again, like legal mindset, for example. He was one of the people that market, and I checked this with other people's time stamps. Now, not everyone fell into this. There were outliers. Myself, I was an outlier in that, and at least 15% of people were outliers, but the majority were either showing that video, or it would be something like, oh, Yellow Flash, he said he got banned, and he showed a picture of his tweet. Oh, they tried to privacy claim the tweet. So what's your response to the claim that you help write terms of service to benefit you? That's not the claim. That is not the claim at all. It's that they're rewriting the rules as they go, and they're benefiting her. Those terms have been around, issued, based around that. This fucking chain, man, you disingenuous freaking toady, man. Terms of service have been based around laws of the United States. These terms of service have been in place long before Elon or Ella Irwin. Oh, man, you know what? She believes in old Twitter. That's nice to know, too. I didn't help write those, but Ella Irwin posted a thread about terms of service right after the situation blew up, and it seemed coordinated. Well, it wasn't coordinated. She was trying to explain to people that this is the way it is. About the video, obviously, no one has the full story besides my legal team. I will say that sometimes in trafficking situations, it helps to try to delegitimize someone in society so that they blend in. So what about when people say you direct message the world star hip hop person on Instagram? Do they have video of me like DMing him? Was I trained to write that? Wait, are you talking about when you bragged about wanting to, she bragged about putting the stuff together. It was her own words. We didn't claim that. She claimed it. It was her fucking words, Shane. My God, I find that I detest Shane Cashman more and more as I roll through this, because it's all, let me just ask you this simple question and then just move out of your fucking way. Take it to task, Shaney boy. Take it to task. Come prepared. I'd have come prepared with a fucking laptop full of videos. I'd be like, well, what about this right here? This is you in your own words saying that. This isn't other people. See, I wouldn't have framed it as, what about people saying that you DM'd? I would have been like, what about you saying that you messaged, you helped put this together? Again, you did it on your own. You didn't have somebody acting, pushing you into this. Was I trying a false narrative to protect my abuser? I do want to say something for the record. I'm not accusing world star hip hop of trafficking me. I'm not accusing the video producer or his awesome girlfriend that was there of trafficking me. I don't know how much they knew or didn't know. I don't think they knew anything. I'll say this for the record too, which I might shoot myself in the foot and regret later on, but I have no desire to sue world hip hop, because they literally, the second they were told what's going on, they pulled it down. Yeah, they didn't want to get involved in somebody's fraudulent fucking lawsuit. So that's probably what it sounds like to me. It sounds like she's going to try to go after the person that she's saying here. She's going to try to erase her past for that whole time there by saying that entire time she was trafficked. That's what this is. That is exactly what she's claiming. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, but is that not what she's saying? She's saying, you know, the stuff that happened back then, that video, I was trafficked. I was coerced into doing so. Again, there's no litigation. You can't erase the past. It doesn't work that way. But that video was public before this, and to those that kept posting it, it seemed like it was merely an attack on free speech from someone who said they die on the hill of free speech. How is this free speech? If you can't tell the difference between human rights violation of human trafficking and sexual exploitation and free speech, then you have a bigger problem. I'm also a radical about free speech. I'm radical to the point where I stood October in front of the Department of Justice and said, if it's a choice, and this was Fox News, and I think there's video of that at a free Assange rally. If it's a choice between free speech and government, if we have to lose one, if one has to go, it's not going to be free speech. This is what we call being a fucking fame-seeking paper tiger. There is no free speech push. I don't claim to be a free speech absolutist. Like I said, I am for free speech for sure. I think like pedos, for example, I can't stand what they have to say. So I have real trouble saying they deserve free speech. But yeah, when we cut away the gray areas, that stuff. But the gray area is what people like this exploit. That's unfortunate because that is, we obviously, this pisses me off. Fucking people, man. This is why I'm so psychotic about free speech. We need to be able to speak out against tyranny. And I want religious freedom. I believe if you restrict free speech, it will inadvertently restrict religious freedom. And I want to have the ability to love God. And I want others to have the ability to love God, know God, my God, whatever, but you can't commit human rights violations. I know this is going to be a large stretch for people, I understand, but I live here. This is my space. I'm an anarchist, an anarchic capitalist, to be specific. In my head, you abide by non-aggression policy. Wait, if you're an anarchist, you don't believe in any of these rules. How the fuck are you an anarchist and believe... Okay. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. I gotta let it go. Give me a second. I gotta let that one go. I'll leave that to somebody who likes to argue the fine points of a political structure. Okay, I'm gonna let it go. It really makes me mad. It's so fucking garbage. I'm an anarchist. I don't believe in the laws of the land unless they benefit me. Fucking joke, man. You cannot commit human rights violations. I know this is going to be a large stretch. Wait. I got lost. It pissed me off so much. In my head, you abide by the non-aggression principle. You do not violate human rights. You violate human rights, that's a problem. That includes digital sexual exploitation. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. You can say mean shit about me. I don't care if you ask questions. What about the people you helped get banned because they made fun of your hair? Or they made fun of the idea that they were trafficked because they went and they couldn't get through a Wendy's drive-thru. Yeah, I'll never go about asking questions the way they did. If they posted, I started to ask before she cut me off. Let me finish. With all the content I have on the internet, why would you go and choose a partially nude piece of my body as evidence that I was not trafficked? That was the question from Brittany Venti. Again, why did Brittany Venti pick it? Because she was saying, how does this fit in with your stance on being an advocate? And how does it fit into your story of trafficking? And forgive me if she went in, again, I'm paraphrasing. Forgive me if she's asked, was she coerced or something? So would you have felt differently if they would have used other screenshots? Right. They went after the link to it. They went after the fucking link. It didn't have screenshots on it at all. They hit the quartering. Come on. They hit people with, again, how many people did you see get hit just sharing links? Not a picture. Clap Goblin, thanks for check your email from Dystopian Banana. Audio with EB's father. Also with EB is trash. I'll go through all email sounds, I'm sure. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I'm having trouble getting through this. I'll admit, I'm going to get through this, but it's such shit. It's absolute garbage. Shane needs to hit the other side of that equation, But it wouldn't have gone the way, I would ask questions. Anybody can ask questions, really, because you shut him down there. You're sitting here asking me questions right now. Yeah, because you thought he was a safe bet, because he's not a real journalist. But they're not really asking questions. At this point, I'm assuming someone will release something even uglier. I'm at the point now that all of this stuff, let me exclude World Star video from this specific, but someone could release a video of me getting punched in the face and sexually assaulted, passed out, and choked. And I will not try to get it removed from the internet because there's no point. I can't control my own sexual exploitation. I'm way more interested in working with tech companies than being caught up in illegal for the next 7 or so years. Yeah, she's realizing that she can't scrub the internet. That's what she's telling you right there. So she did it, and she realizes what it blew up. Now she's trying to back away from what she did. Fascinating, huh? 2012. Thanks for the tug. My email. Yeah. Anarchist. Yeah. I'll check them. Like I said, I'll hit all emails. I gotta work way through them. I'm sure there's a bunch. I'm way more interested in working with tech companies. All my communications with the legal team and with everyone else has been documented. I don't want money. I don't want revenge. I don't want anything. I just want to make sure this doesn't happen to another survivor. There were a bunch of celebrity nudes that were hacked and posted online. Everyone shared. What does that have to do with anything? And it's on here forever. That your butt shaking video is not a leak of celebrity nudes. They do not, in any way, shape, or form. You can't say that someone hacked your fucking phone and took something involuntarily from you. You can't conflate that. You can't say that. I'm not going to throw a actress out there, but I mean, you know all the leaks that have happened over time. Where people have hacked into iClouds or gotten into phones and stuff. That was not voluntary. What she did, and again, it sat there for 6 years until people questioned her with it. That's when it had to come down. But she's realized you can't take it all down. If I could turn this horrific event into something positive, it would have all been worth it. The videos getting pulled, the Twitter suspensions, one could argue the Streisand effect. Fear of the Streisand effect should not determine whether or not a survivor tries to cover themselves. Yeah, literally, totally cover their bodies. So I get it. It's not. Once again, it's the Streisand effect. Perhaps more people have seen the imagery and content after all this. Oh, yeah, you made yourself famous. All right, you did this. But if everybody can just get their hissy fit about me out of the way. Oh, you're just having a hissy fit. Y'all are just a bunch of little whiny cowards. You like that? Thanks for the 2. This is not a news article. It's a novelette. Indeed. It's 70. He's created 80,000 words. It really is. Again, like somebody else noted yesterday, the sweet spot for a sci-fi novel, it's between 70,000 to 120,000. That is the recommended size of a novel. So he wrote a novel, according to Temple. Dreadnought, thanks for the 5. How could you be an anarchist while supporting the laws of the land and not believing in violence? Someone needs to look up the definition of anarchy. Well, indeed. Joetta, thanks for the 5. Now, sex trafficking is being weaponized as well as DV and SA. Oh, yeah, anything that shut you down. Because when people say, it's just like words like hate speech. Well, I believe in free speech, but I don't believe in hate speech. Well, what does that mean? It means any speech they don't like. They can label it as whatever. So you've made money off doing podcasts. You got have a super chats from Hotep Jesus. That was $93. Hey man, that's $93. I'd have given you 2 sums. I'd have given you jack shit. That's how much money. You can come on here and browbeat me. Especially if I would have been like, yo, I'm going to give money to survivor groups. First of all, I wouldn't have given it to Eliza Bleu. I'd have given it to a group, a charity. Like I would have picked out one. I would have gave it to him. But if she would have been like, yo, give it to me. Like Hotep, that's nothing against Hotep Jesus. Again, I like them. I think they're funny. I think that they got pulled into a fucked up situation there. They tried to do a nice thing. They tried to give money to charity, and she stole from it. I'm going to do a video on that now. I got to. I'm going to do a video. Eliza Bleu stole from charity. Yep. She really is Amber Heard 2.0. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make one. I got to now. Oh, I got to. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. You made some money off doing podcasts, $93. I'm not selling a book. I'm not doing a documentary. I just want to be an advocate. I don't even want to be a public survivor advocate. You know, I told you how the Daily Mail behind the scenes fought to make me, the Daily Wire fought to make me do that publicly. I understand why the people are confused. I've lived every vivid, badass, dope, traffic struggle of life, even right now with all this mess. I'm thinking, well, Elon, listen to me about tangible solutions that don't violate digital privacy rights to help remove child sex abuse material from Twitter. Yeah, you had them use you as the test case, had those same things that are supposed to protect children used against people that were on the platform. I love Twitter. It's a little outdated to me. Once Elon said he's making it a priority, I said, dope. My work here is done. If you guys need me, I'll need some solutions. Hit me up. Now, she was telling you she was mailing Elon. Again, I don't know if any of you got Elon Musk's mail address, but I didn't. Heather Blue, thanks for the 5. Heather Blue. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Heather. Heather Blue. Heather Blue. That's not your name, too. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Sorry about that. I feel like we're on a psycho ride with a liar's mind. All effing lies. Indeed. She's played some mind fuckery on me. She's messed me up inside. I'm suing. Mystified thinks it did. She needs to apologize for locking and spending people's accounts for asking questions. She didn't try to answer with 80,000 words. For sure. Christopher Combs, thanks for the 5. Tim, it's Representative Lauren on IRL tonight. He has less than 30,000 watching. Well, he took the hit for it, you know. He deserves that, you know. Nikki, I'd love you to sit down and interview Eliza. That's why she wouldn't do it. You know, because I wouldn't yell at her and stuff, but I wouldn't let her wiggle out of this. Like I understand these games. I understand it. I've had fucking people pull all kind of bullshit across our table from me with mental health and stuff. I've seen it. Not just you could just be a study. You don't have to have that kind of background to understand this stuff. I'm just saying, man, the manipulation and stuff, you know. River runs deep. Thanks for the love of mini tacos. Indeed. They're gonna be called mini tacos in a second, but I don't care. Rebel Bird, thanks for the first installment of your paid PR check. Yes, Cloud Goblin does. Thank God. I need those PR checks, man. But people are saying, well, Elon was following you and he unfollowed you. He wasn't following me. He never followed me. He never followed me on Twitter. Okay. I want to task some people to get screenshots of that. If you can go back and find a screenshot of him following her, that's another thing to blow up. Okay, that'll be fun. If there's a bunch of articles and big accounts saying otherwise, Elon Musk was never following me. I would have thought he had, though. Show me when he followed me. He never followed me. I dug into this, and so far as I can tell, I didn't see when he ever followed her. Elon, if you're reading this, please fact check. But to the best of my knowledge, Elon, please fact check this. Yeah, you think Elon's going to be a trusty source these days. But to the best of my knowledge, he never did. But according to the internet, according to big accounts on Instagram and YouTube with 1 million plus followers, that's Jeremy. They're taking a shot at the quartering right there. That's a shot at the quartering. That's what that is. With 1 million plus followers, everyone's saying it's true. There was a lot of noise happening online. A lot of it made trying to understand reality really, really difficult. On one hand, Eliza's own sense of time had been warped because, as she said, the drugs, the drinking, and abuse. Someone else might argue there are major gaps in her story because she's lying. Yeah, very much so. At this rate, I was personally getting attacked online for injecting myself into this story. I started thinking that even if Eliza was a total liar, if she somehow schemed up this wild and elaborate lie, it would have taken years to plan. It didn't warrant the level of attack on her, nor anyone in her surrounding. That's the problem with this guy. You can tell he's not a researcher because he sees this as an attack. He doesn't see the people are outraged by the fact that this fucking piece of garbage gets people banned, takes them down, and uses Survivor as the way to do it. Promises that there's litigation when there's not. She said that she's not. She said that I'm not going to do that. I just want it to go away. I want them to have their little hissy fit over. Yeah, it ain't going to end like that. It's going to get ugly. This shit is going to fucking this right here. This will cause wreckage for days. This will cause wreckage for days. That's when I started to realize a lot of people making the most noise were truly the useful idiots. So here we go. Here it is, right here. Shane doing his fucking dance because he's an Eliza Bleu apologist right there. They became tools of destruction, rooted in absolute ignorance and disguised in moral authority. There was that sense of doom again, the sense of modern war, which is always as grand and sweeping as Hollywood visions of war. The war starts as a seed deeply planted within the darkest parts of our brain, and it grows until people can't distinguish the voice of manufactured hate. Manufactured hate. These questions that she said right here, and this piece of shit wants to call that manufactured hate. The very criticism should be levied at me too. Oh, it is. It is. You are a fraud. You are a fucking fraud. You'll sit here and do your little, I'm gonna be introspective. I'm actually laying this story out. I'm gonna investigate and I'm just gonna see what's there. Oh. Yeah, you're really looking into it, aren't you, buddy? You're really looking into it. Oh, she just said a few things, stuff that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. What do you do? Eliza Bleu. Fool, man. Mama 3. Thanks for the 2 there. Tim went from 1.44 subs to 1.32 in 24 hours. Wow. That's a hit right there. That's a hit. You know. Dreadnought, thanks for the 5. News headline. Clap Goblin steals from charity. Hordes of money away in a reclave with the rest of her money. It's very goblin-like behavior. Indeed. Zach, thanks for the 2. Is he writing news or Harry Potter fanfic? That's true. That's it. It looks like Eliza Bleu fanfic, doesn't it? She writes her own fanfic. Maybe she wrote this for him. This whip, thanks for 5. Regardless, if we want to know the truth that she's a fraud, what are we looking to achieve here? End result of this and such. Curious what your thoughts are. Well, we've had some answers. Really, the question that everybody was trying to answer is why? Why? First of all, why whatever was happening on Twitter happened, and why Eliza Bleu, what she was trying to accomplish with this stuff. Now, we've had answers in this. She's given away more. This is what I was saying about a puff piece. This is actually a hit piece. This is a hit piece on You and I. This is what this is. This is not a puff piece by itself. It's a hit piece too. And it is a hit piece on You and I. But in that, with you wanting to know why, there are a lot of components to why. That question, again, it's multifaceted. And when it comes out, here's the question. When you find out that somebody is a total fucking liar and they scam, they use Survivor, they use the people they are supposed to be advocating for, they use their identities. How do you think that should be handled? What do you think should happen? I mean, and for real, what do you think should happen? Honestly, you just think, hey, okay, well, here's the information. Let's just move on. She's good to go. Fuck it. Do you think like all the accounts that set banned in the wreckage and stuff? I mean, that's, here's the problem. We still don't have coverage on this from really. I mean, what are the conservative outlets that have covered it? What are the liberal outlets? I mean, there's a couple, but what really? I mean, we're giving them a lot of credit for that, saying that there's a bunch of them. But on either side of that, who's covering? Who's doing anything? I mean, you have more damage control than you actually have there. I mean, it's a good question, Z Swift. 2012, thanks for the 2. This is just Shane's diary. I don't care about his fee-fees. Indeed. 2012, thanks for the 2. EB, been coordinating. Next, Candace Owens. Is that what you think she's going for? I mean, you know, that's the thing. She's just going to grift it off again, you know? She's going to grift it off again. Post Millennial and Daily Beast were largely the outlets. Yes, and we want to give credit to the first really two outlets that had the stones to cover that. Again, you had Bounding into Comics and Pop Topic, you know, places that Bounding into Comics has taken a lot of hits over these years for covering shit. They take them and they don't get recognized for it, you know. And Pop Topic has talked about a lot of things that these places have paid for it because they're not giant organizations out there. But anyway, we've encountered a gang of leeches that suck at the skin of the machine they can't comprehend the full scope of because they are so lost in their own narcissism. Or perhaps even worse, they're conscious of the symbiosis between them and a destructive orgy, carrying torches and pitchforks and masquerading through the internet or perpetual trauma machines. These people are digital cannibals. They care more about their names getting lumped into stories the same way tumors grow in a body. This is Shane's I'm covering the story fairly. Fucking loser, man. I realize at this point that it isn't even worth it to seek quotes from these people because they merely exist in the distant margins of the entire story. Yeah, the people that actually cause this because they get banned and more. They don't matter in this story. But fuck you, Shane. I mean, right there, that is a declaration of, that is a straight up fuck you. I hope everybody remind Tim Pooley of that. Remind them all of it again, because they're talking about you. They're talking about anybody that's had a problem with that. That's what Shane Cashman has to say about you. He won't call her out on shit, but yeah. These content creators who live stream for hours and hours every day about Eliza, you know why they're butthurt? Because we laugh at Tim Pool and we laugh at Shane Cashman. I'm going to take him seriously. He always said everything they had to say. This will probably read this and continue to speak out both sides of their mouth, saying they don't want war. Fucking bring war. Like apparently Shane wants war. That's what it is. You guys declared war on your own membership, the paid people that come there. I mean, fucking A. But they also insidiously antagonize their audience to believe that they have firm handle on the whole situation. And this is no shade at their audience. Oh, no, not shade at the audience, you know. It's just the people with the microphones. It's just the people who got banned. You know, you realize, jackass, that it wasn't just the people with the microphones that got banned, right? People like Mystified in the audience there. She ate it for sharing a link that wasn't this link. It wasn't the link to the World Star Hip Hop. She got hit for that shit. If Tim Pool or Shane got hit for something, oh my God, they would throw a piss fit from here to the end of fucking eternity. I mean, he comes up with these weird cabals. You know, he's getting taken down. People are plotting against him. There's PR moves trying to do this or that. Yeah, we see who the PR fucking push is. We probably share some of the same audience. The audience most likely has a real job, doesn't spend time sitting in front of their computer digging the story as much as we all have in our various ways. The audience has learned to trust all of ours from different perspectives, and we all have been right and wrong throughout the years on some topics. But these content creators at this exact moment have tripped over their lynch mob brain as they perform pseudo-intellectual pole dances on their webcams. Oh, you won't call out her for what she does. You're just like, oh, she's going out there actually doing fuck him, man. Fuck him. Like this is pseudo-intellectualism. That's what this is. Oh, got the big brain. I got the big brain. Look at me. It's like, are you guys kidding me, man? These are the guys telling you they're saving their democracy, man. They're saving it. Everyone else is TMZ. They're above the fray, though. Remember, unless they're covering some of the fray. I mean, what a bunch of losers. As I start looking deeper into this entire smear campaign, So he's noted it. It's a smear campaign. Again, the mask is dropped. The mask is dropped. Thank you, Shane. Thanks for not keeping the mask on while you continue your, I mean, man. Ah, that's going to be fun. This is going to start a fucking war. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. They're all mad because people like Journey Hamley showed pictures of it. You know why they're butthurt? Because Journey Hamley, as they like to say his name, and yes, his name is out there. So, but they like to say it. They won't say the quartering. They're like, Jeremy Hamley. He put beards on. He put a Jack Murphy beard on you, Tim. What do you think about that? Oh, they let you know why they were butthurt about this stuff. They absolutely let you know.
Did you see the picture of Jack Murphy's beard as your hat? Did
Yeah,
you see that one?
yeah, whatever.
That's the real reason. Oh, I love it. That's so beautiful, though. I'm highlighting some portions of this because this will be fun this will be fun. Oh, man, he's going to... Oh, shit. They think that they'll come out of this unscathed. That's the beautiful thing. They think that this won't hurt them because they've turned on their own audiences. Watch me dance on my pole, babies. Oh, my God. I love it. I love life some days. Eliza Bleu. Oh, this dude, man. Give me a second. Let me hit the super chats I missed. Okay. Like I said, if I for some reason miss a super chat or something in the middle of it, again, that is my bad. Like it drives me crazy that some people think that they shouldn't even try. Like I said, sometimes I miss them. My thumbnails, the one thing I've noticed is my thumbnails are hard to tell apart these days. So when I look at the damn little tiny super chat screen, it's hard for me to tell when one thing begins, one thing ends. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to start at the top. Fuck it. Dreadnought, thanks for the 2. Get your pickled theme torches and big forts here. Indeed. 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 I mean, it's strange. Like you were asking, Z Swift, you're asking like what the point is of it. And it's to call out fucking frauds like this. Again, it's not just these people, they flagrantly, they didn't even really want to cover the censorship topic. He got the most rudimentary answers available. And then it was like, fuck y'all. That's enough. That's enough for me. You know, it was basically, he told you, I don't need to hear anything anyone else says. I don't need to hear it at all. I mean, that just, that's amazing. Send mine, thanks for 2. Can we get it's part of the op bro t-shirts? That would be funny. I need a t-shirt with that. It's part of the op bro. Yes, by the way, you should go on ThatUmbrellaGuy.com and check out all of our wonderful t-shirts. We had to in-house all that shit because, you know, assholes that Shane apparently would back that kind of stuff too. I encountered dipshits just like him that told me when I was going down the rabbit hole with the Deb Heard situation, when I was doing that, I needed to fucking stop. I shouldn't do it. Why spend so much time? It's a one and done story. Then all of them, they had to just jump on it when they knew it was safe, when they knew that all of this stuff had been exposed, when they had nothing to fucking lose anymore. They love to call out the shit. I'm not saying me. There were plenty of people that did that too. I'm just saying they fucking said the same thing to myself, other people as well. But they told us over and over again the same fucking thing. Oh, all it is a hate campaign. It's trying to ruin it. They sound like fucking, they sound like Dateline NBC writers. I mean, they sound the same. I can't tell them apart anymore. And maybe that's because there is no distinction. What's up, Ghost? Thanks for the 5. Is he trying to get more left-leaning base by pulling their tactics? Maybe it sounds just like the You know, it sounds like the 2% progressive crazies is what it sounds like. You know, it doesn't sound like, again, there's about 98% of us in the middle. Whether you vote liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter. But there's crazies out there. And this is the tactic of those fucking crazies that have tried to shut people down forever. You know, that quote unquote progressive element, the nut job. That's what they do. Gaslighting pieces of shit. King Leech, thanks for the 2. Just got here. Give me the short and skinny. There is the. You need to read that article, man. You need to read that article. Part 2 of Shane's article came out. You need to read it. What's up, M4A now? Thanks for that gifted membership. Appreciate that. Landed on somebody. I'm sure they appreciate it too. 2012. Thanks for the 2. Tim making big money moves to expand time for war. Yeah, to expand bad time for war. Indeed. About both sides of it. There's this, again, that's why I say there's this 2% on either side of a spectrum that want us to eat each other because they fucking game it. They're just talking heads, man. They don't do anything. I mean, we argue over ideas and ideals a lot of times. They don't exist in that same world. We're arguing over something. If we could flush out all of these fucking people that divide us, and maybe we could get something done. But they don't want that. Hey, Stacy, thanks for the 10 there. The stream was great, Tug. Rarely do we get to hear you grit your teeth and your blood pressure rise. Keep over in the BS. I thought this would be a 1-2 day story, maybe. I thought we'd cover it one time. I thought, okay, it's a speed bump, you know, it's just one thing. And then these people, they just kept it going. I'm shocked. I mean, I'm not really, but it's shocking how they fed it. Gabriel, thanks for the 179. We need a beanie with it. It's just an op bro on it. Maybe we need an umbrella guy with a beanie on his head. I'm gonna hit up. Oh my God, what do you think about that? I'm gonna have maybe I could get like a umbrella guy on a shirt with a beanie on his head, and it says like he's wearing a shirt that says it's just an op bro. Oh shit, that would be really funny. Mystified, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships too. I'd love to thank you. I appreciate that for sure. Very much appreciate that. I think that would be hilarious though. Tabitha, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. These people take themselves too seriously. They've stopped investigating anything. You know, they use the word investigate. I don't consider myself a journalist in any way, shape, or form. You know, I've never claimed to be a journalist. I don't respect journalists. Well, I respect journalists that actually are journalists. You know, there are some hardworking, for real, hard-hitting expose journalists that they get in, they dig deep, you know. I just basically he tried to make it, oh man, this is a war. It's just like Tim Pool's spin, you know. This is a war because they saw her wanting to get famous, but hey, she's an advocate, right? He pulled the same shit. Again, it's just, you can't go, what I've learned from seeing Tim Pool clips is you can't go against Tim Pool. So of course they're all going to sound like that, right? 2012, thanks, dude. Can I do another piece, Tug contributor? Number 1. Can you do another piece? Yeah, I would like to see some people write some fucking, you know, stuff out there in independent journalism for real. Hit something up there. What's up, Cindy? Thanks for 3 months there. Love your shows. Can't catch many of your lives because of my job. Thank goodness for PTO. Well, I've been leaving up stuff just to see how it goes, you know. I've been wanting to people, I want you to understand, like, this is such a big issue. Like, it's so, there's so much to it that I've left up live streams. I haven't tried to condense it into a video here or a video there. I've tried to show you everything that's been attached, and it's taken live streams to go through stuff. Yes, of course, you know, when I'm reading 40,000 words, I mean, that's going to take a live stream, but it took 3 live streams to really go through details. And, you know, I was pretty on topic for those, and usually I'm not. Fiona, thanks for the 10 there. Just catching up. I wish I had a direct line to Elon Musk so I could tell him to stop sending notifications that he's tweeted. I don't even follow him. Indeed there. Check my email, please. There's Eliza Bleu family secret. star found on YouTube. I'll fish through. I've got like an army of emails right now. Let me give me one second. I have an army of emails though. I do. I've seen them coming in the whole time. So I know, folks, and I do read emails. I get so many I can't respond to all of them, but I definitely go through. You can tell because I'll bring up stuff, and if it links to something, yeah, I see that. Shut down. All right, I'll check that video out for sure. I've marked it though, so I've got it marked so I can go in, watch it, and I will definitely go through it. There's the link too. I'm going to check that one out. I got the thanks for the buck there too. There's the new link for the Timmy meltdown. I'll throw that one in there as well. Good Lord, man. There's just so much. Again, I think we're just, one of the reasons that this stuff has gone as far as it has is because these folks, they've been doing their best. They've been doing their best, I think, to do damage control, to try to bury anything that comes up. I don't think it's just what was there. I think they want to catch all to bury all the past. If you put enough stuff out there, if you bury enough of it, then maybe, just maybe, right? What's up, Instant Karma? Thanks for the 7 months there. Thank you, Instant Karma. Mazza, thanks for the gifted membership. Thank you for that. I saw it fall too. Bam. Hit Gabriel Badwolf too. That's awesome. I will definitely check those out though. Let me see. I'm working my way through this. I'm just reading them over, seeing what I missed here. Hey, Courtney, thanks for the 2. Hair has only been compared in color, not length. That's true too, actually. Dreadnought, thanks for the 5. Tug, new t-shirt, pickle with sunglasses and a beanie holding a check. Say it's on up, bro. That's actually funny. It needs a beanie. I think I'll hit up Peter and see what he's doing. Sam Panther, thanks for the 3 months. Spread love, not bugs. That's funny. I do wonder about the mandated reporter thing, though. Again, I wonder with everything that's going on. So there's 200 want to. So Ramon's thanks for the super chat. Chinese. It's a landmark on Hollywood Boulevard. It's where all the footprints. Oh yeah. Okay, so that area doesn't look like a monstrous area, Kevin, thanks for the 5 there. Writing an article is hard while trying to conjure Hunter S. Thompson at the same time. Yeah, indeed. On MD, thanks for the 5 there. I can verify rape kits not recorded in medical records. MD here. They are police records redacted from medical records due to privacy rules. That's bullshit. So when they bill, in billing, does it say anything? Here's an insurance thing. Would they, like she was saying, it had some kind of wording that would indicate, I don't know this answer. This is why I'm asking somebody that might know something about insurance. When you look through breaks down or itemization of insurance, does it tell you they rent a kit? I mean, how does it itemize that? I don't even know the answer to that. 2012, thanks for the 2. Tug. I posted a link to mandated reporter. You boomer. You post a link to the mandated reporter. I'm asking, like, it's not about a mandated reporter question. It's a question of, first of all, there's a claim with the insurance company itself. Like, how does insurance company itemize something like that? Like, if I look at my insurance breakdown, is it going to tell me, first of all, that there's a rape kit? Second of all, we're talking about an underage person here. So it would automatically trigger a mandated reporter issue. That's what the mom was saying within that. So, I mean, she was answering our own question about how that would work. But I'm curious. It's a big no. Yeah, that's say codes everywhere. That's what I mean. Is there a code for rape kit? You know, they won't charge you for your own rape kit. Say you've had one done? No. Say I don't. She was 18. Oh. 20. Well, thanks for doing. I do know this answer. Give me a minute here. Hey, Tug, great work covering the puff piece. Only thing she admitted on first part was actually the daughter of a politician, something she's always denied. Greeting from Brazil. Yeah, that's true. This second part, woo, man. She also admitted, actually, that first part, she admitted the connection to old Twitter too, which is something, that had been discussed quite a bit. But, Mr. Carmen, thanks for 5. Hey, love to you and your family. Have a wonderful life. Out of here. Peace. See ya. Have a good one. Let's see. I'm looking up that. God, there's so much stuff. Like my mail. And so, when people are like, check your mail, you have no idea how much mail. I'm not, like I said, it's not a bad thing. Actually, right now, Twitter messages are broken. They will only go down. I only get the first 4. Bump your thing up to the top so I can see it, because only 4 messages are coming through at a time right now. I kept seeing people telling me that they were being told they hit their tweet limit. Mark, thanks for the 2. You do a GoFundMe for PI, and I'll contribute. We'll see if there's anybody interested in just doing it. Well, thanks for doing many groups. I have trains, not traffic. That's true too. A lot of people do. Again, I don't care what you do in your free time. I don't give a crap. You can do the most interesting, most whatever bizarre. It's not my business. You know what I mean? Like if you're out there doing your thing, you do your thing. Like it doesn't hurt me. See, that's the weapon of choice for a lot of these folks. They pretend that this is about judging people's lifestyles and stuff. I don't give a shit. What's Rock and Ruin? Thanks for the 6. I was 6 months. I was not able to listen to the stream. Some children went wild in the house, and adults had too many drinks. So yeah, chaos. Well, that's a good one. It's a good one. Quartering is saying we may be experiencing a cyber attack. What say you? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. It's weird. Something's going on. I mean, as broken as Twitter's been lately, who knows? Who knows what's going on with anybody? Trump Willison's my name. Thanks for tuning. This ain't no Veritas Tinder date article. Like these are. I wish somebody big, like one of those places. This is what happens, though. You're expected, just to be honest, if there's an issue, like a big issue that needs to be uncovered, the problem becomes you're expected to do the legwork. And then these lazy ass journalists, they'll come in and they'll try to get things to work behind it, like they'll try to do it. They'll try to, there we go. Yeah. So the coding question. All right. So here's a coding item. I want this answered before I get off here. Coding of sexually assault by emergency data. Sexual assault and public health problem that affect many Americans, long-lasting effects. Okay, the study reviews factors associated with coding of visits of sexual assault compared to suspected sexual assaults in a 2016 National Emergency Department sample. So this goes through all the coding. I'm going to read through this then and see how their methodology and stuff, because I used to back in the day. Now I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm sure technology and everything else has changed. But back in the day when I was going back to college, I always found statistics interesting. I find numbers fascinating. So I always, I like to go through and I like to understand I like to understand how studies work, because I mean, when you compare a psychological study to any other kind of study, you have your error variance, your alpha levels that are being used. I mean, it's like this, like in a hard science study, you want things to be right on the nose. I mean, it has to be. There can't be very much variance. Can't have that much error, right? But when you're talking about psychological studies, they may have a 5 degree, might be 5% that you're looking at there. The difference in that is when you're talking about the human mind or something like that, you're going to have a lot more leeway than, say, airplanes falling out of the sky. Airplane structural reports. Like if 5 out of every 100 airplanes falls out of the sky, that's a problem. But you get something wrong studying like the human mind, 5%, you're doing pretty good. But I always found that fascinating. So I want to go through their methodology, how they put this together, what they found in it too. A lot of people do not like to sit around and see all of that like reviewed. Tug, did you see Legal Mindset stream? I went on for a little bit last night where he's talking about I went on to the end of it. Again, thanks for the 5. Yeah, Tug, I work with insurance every day. There's a code and there's a brief description of the code. Okay, so I'd wondered, like with privacy, how that worked for that specific item. He's in Beagle, thanks for the 2. The Cajun Tattler strikes again. Nick J, thanks for the 5 there. Can't wait for the books. Yeah, I know. I'm ready for them. God, it's been such a long road. Rock and Ruin, thanks for the 5. Salt Storm. Get with my boys. Love you in chat. Yeah, you too, Tug. Quack bang out. Yeah, man, for real. It's been a crazy road. This thing, I don't think will die out anytime soon. I think it was going to, and they reinvigorated it. I think we saw it dying out. Now, I also think that part of Twitter, I think it was, I don't know if it was dying out. Like if you look at the interest when you're on YouTube versus Twitter, it does make you wonder sometimes, is it dying an artificial death, or is it an interest related one? John S, thanks for the 2. Rage Against the Perpetual Trauma Machine. It's funny. Clint Matthews, thanks for the 2. Just here as part of the op, bro. Indeed. Oh, Zeke, thanks for the 2. Tim put out a BS video about Germany today on subbed. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I'm gonna have fun with all of that, thanks for the 5. Quartering claimed a few friends on YouTube, and Tim Pool wasn't on that list. It's just business. He only respected what Tim built. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I mean, and online, you don't claim a lot of friends either. It's just, Tim seems like the kind of person that would take that personally too if somebody said they weren't your friend. 2012, thanks. Send another one. It says states cover our tests. Cool. I'll check them all out there. What's up, Camelot, man? How you doing, brother? Saw you in there. Tages, thanks for the 2. I created a Murphy beanie meme. Team is friend. Oh, you created that beam. Oh, that's hilarious. Because I mean, he has been freaking out about that thing. I mean, he has been just shook up about it. I will check that out though. I see people mention the 48-minute thing, and I'll watch it right after this. I think I've hit every super. If I've missed you in there, that's my bad. There's something going on with YouTube right now that it's messing up the super chat window. It just keeps blanking out on me. So if I missed anybody in there, that's why I've been like, usually I just put them in a row and just read them out and I wouldn't care, but if I miss you there again, like I said, this isn't Griff Pool. I do appreciate people like whatever. I appreciate you being here, again, I don't live under the delusion that these channels happen. I may make content, but without people picking up and doing something with that content, it doesn't mean anything, you know. But a lot of people are under the delusion that they matter. But anyway, I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna go watch that. So I think we're in for a fun show for the next few days. Again, like I said, when that first thing dropped, it was going to go nuclear, and it is. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. See ya.